Greetings and salutations, guys. Welcome back to the ALEuminati. We've had quite a few serious episodes recently. Two very big, deep episodes recently.
Cicadia
and Diana.
Oh Jesus, Diana, yeah.
So we're going a little bit lighter and a little bit old school.
We are going old school.
We're going old school, like we are, of course, as you can tell by the title. So this week we are asking, is Bigfoot real?
Now, I am going to be open and honest. I am pretty terrible at calling Bigfoot Bigfoot. I give him all his nicknames. So, in my notes, when I was reading over them, I realised I've called him Bigfoot, I've called him Yeti, and I've called him Sasquatch. When I refer to those three, unless I specifically say so, I mean the North American Bigfoot. Just to be sure, in case I get loose lips and call it a Sasquatch, and because it might get confusing.
Yeah, it might do.
I wanted to say that out loud.
It is.
My notes are a mishmash of shite.
So, what we're going to look at is, I'm going to, because we're kind of, full disclosure, we don't see each other's research, we've had a lot of technical issues tonight, so we're starting from the beginning again, filming this.
Yeah, so yes.
And I've found out you've got a lot more in-depth research than I have, right? So, what I was thinking, I'm going to set the background story to Bigfoot.
Okay.
And I'll let you dive in with all the...
Nonsense.
All the reports, should we call them?
Reports.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Right, so we kind of get an idea what we're going to... So, people claim to have seen Bigfoot, described as a large, hairy, muscular, bipedal, ape-like creature, roughly between 6 and 9 feet tall.
Oh, you're not 6 or 9 feet tall.
I'm not 6 or 9 feet tall, just 6 to 9 feet in length. 9 feet in length, 6 feet in girth.
When it gets attacked, it passes out.
The enormous footprint for which the creature is named are claimed to be as large as 24 inches, or 60 centimetres. That generally is Bigfoot.
That's not little.
No. Its origins are set in Native American stories of a race of giants. But that being said, there's also possible human myths on a global scale, such as Yeti, Abominable Snowman, like these bipedal ape-like creatures are worldwide. So could be kind of like flood myth, as in the flood stories in every religion kind of thing. The story came to life in 1840 to 1940. It was sort of like it's massive when it came to public attention. In 1920, a Canadian newspaper published an article about a Sasquatch and repeated it in 1940, which meant that's 1940 repeated it is considered to be the boom of Bigfoot hunting.
Right, okay.
Now, about 1/3 of all claims of Bigfoot sightings are located in the Pacific Northwest, with the remaining reports spread throughout the rest of North America. Most reports are considered mistakes or hoaxes, even by those researchers who say that Bigfoot exists.
At least then.
I think that's an important point. These researchers going, Bigfoot exists, going, well, this guy's so like, no, that's the mistake. He's mistaken a bear there, or he's mistaken this there.
It's no different to MUFON though. I think they do the same thing. People say, I've seen something, and they go, well, let's fucking try and rule out everything else and see if it genuinely is a UFO. So, at least they've done a good job. Trying.
Yeah, I like it. They're trying to debunk all the crap so that the stuff they've got is more... If they back something, it seems to be more legit than debunking a lot of crap.
A bit like this channel.
Yeah. Bigfoot has become better known and a phenomenon in popular culture. Sightings have spread throughout North America, but specifically in Whidbey, rural areas of the Great Lakes region and the southern east United States have been the source of numerous reports of Bigfoot sightings, in addition to the Pacific Northwest. The debate on the legitimacy of Bigfoot sightings reached a peak in the 1970s, and Bigfoot has been regarded as the first widely popularised example of pseudoscience in American culture.
Pseudoscience for certain. Yeah.
So that's the setup for him.
Okay.
So now we have a base of what Bigfoot is. So when we talk about Bigfoot, this is what we're talking about.
You could have just said Bigfoot is a big hairy bastard with big feet.
I wanted to sound a bit more intelligent.
Right, okay.
But I've kind of gathered that from multiple sources.
Think about our audience here.
Yeah. But I've sort of gathered that from multiple sources, so we can kind of take
okay.
We've got an idea of what Bigfoot is now. So move on to your very in-depth research on the reports of Bigfoot.
Well,
while I drink loads of homebrew cider.
I like to think that it's my research pays off now and again, but we'll give it a go. So, from what I could find, and again, anyone who's watching, this could all be bullshit. Stick it in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. But this is the best sort of I could find. And additionally as well, I do want to say that I believe there's been 3,000 to 3,500 sightings of Bigfoot. So clearly I'm not reporting on all of those. So,
Fuck no, we're not.
so I'm just going to go on the ones that I thought were important in a timeline perspective. So the first time that I could see the name Bigfoot was in the 1830s.
Right.
And he was devised as being immense in size, which his height was considerable to 6 feet, which again the 1830s 6 feet might have been considerable. It's quite a normal height now, but
yeah, but thinking back to that time, like we always talk about Napoleon's always mentioned having a little man syndrome because they were like 5'4" or 5'5" or something. But it was actually quite an average height for the time period.
Oh, that's true, yeah. But history tries to paint him to.
But it's like, oh, the average height is like near 6 foot now. Oh, we're tiny compared. I was had little man syndrome. That's why we're so angry. It's like, no, actually, it was the right height. So, what were it? 1870?
1830.
1830. 6 feet tall is going to be fucking massive. It's going to be a giant. On the average in 1830.
Yeah, fair point. So exceeded 6 feet. Strength was represented. Pardon me, it's Herculean.
How do they know his strength were Herculean unless they've seen him snapping a tree in half or something, or...
My notes aren't that good then, because it doesn't say...
no, I'm just wondering...
He started using a tree as a toothpick.
yeah, just pick the tree out and fucking whack the car with it. Alright, that's Herculean strength.
Fuck shit, yeah.
You know, but like, oh, his strength were Herculean? How do you know? Must have been if he were that big. Oh, really?
Yes.
Sorry. It doesn't pop into my head.
It's alright, mate, don't worry. Just fucking piss all over my face now.
I'm not pissed off, I'm just saying, if there had been any show of Herculean strength, it'd have been in the report that he ripped a tree apart, or he smashed a rock, or he stopped a car dead, or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's no report of his strength in action. Just he's got Herculean. Well, how do you know he's got this strength if you've not seen it in action?
That's a fair point. And I didn't interrogate enough.
Go back to 1830 and interrogate this guy properly next time.
Hold on, we're role reversing it. Normally it's like, how do you know, Badger? Now it's like, Craig, tell me how you know it's Herculean. It doesn't feel nice.
I think we just still a bit. Just the point I'm making is
We've only just fucking started.
if you say
Already.
you say you've got this guy said he's got Herculean strength, but if you'd have seen evidence of that, like ripping a tree up or something like that, it'd have gone, I saw him rip a fucking tree out of the floor. Not just go, yeah, he had Herculean strength, I know he ripped a tree out of the floor. Like, you could have fucking mentioned that in your report, you know.
It could have done, but
yeah, sorry, I'm nitpicking, but
the
I don't
report
think
I
I am
saw
at the same time. Wrong.
Did not suggest he'd ripped up a tree and hit a cow with it or anything. However, Bigfoot, 1830s, first time it's ever named.
Sorry.
Because he's got big feet. But the first documented case that I can find was in 1870, and the article was called "The Wild Man of Crow Canyon" in the Antioch Ledger, written from Grayson, and it talked about two big, 5 feet tall, previously humanoids. There'd been a lot of gorilla sightings in the area at the time as well, so it could have easily been misidentification. But the first time anyone ever wrote in and wrote something to a paper that's actually genuinely documented and shared was 1870, called "The Wild Man of Crow Canyon," and it's just someone said, "I've seen two Bigfoot over 5 feet tall," and again, over 5 feet tall suggests it's like it's weighted as if this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Two big 5 foot hairy people, but it was circulated, and that was the first evidence I could find of anybody writing anything in any kind of.
Yeah, I mean the first evidence I've got is that
Artifact.
Canadian article in 1920 that was repeated again in 1940. So you beat me there on that.
Well, there wasn't much to it. I do honestly go have a read. So it's called the 1870 Wild Man of Crow Canyon. Have a look for yourself. If you said 1920.
1920, there was an article in a Canadian newspaper about Sasquatch in 1920, which was an account from Indigenous people.
Okay. Well,
Right? And it was kind of like telling their legend.
right. Okay.
So it wasn't really a sighting, it was more telling their legend. Right? And then this article kind of went out in 1920 and not really became of it. And then in 1940, rumours started spreading locally about like Bigfoot sightings started gathering pace locally.
Right.
So the newspaper that printed it just kind of went back in its archives, dusted off this 20-year article and printed it again because it was quite fashionable and sold papers, and it was actually really profitable because they sold it to multiple papers in other towns, and it ended up going national with this article. And that's the first time I could find of Bigfoot becoming a phenomenon rather than a myth whispered between hunters in a wood in the Colorado woods or the Canadian Rockies. It was the first time the myth went national, and kind of everybody, like people in suburbia, were reading about Bigfoot rather than rural towns talking about sightings.
This reminds me of a point you brought up in our first ever video. Paul McCartney.
Mm-hmm.
Where you say it's just like a campus report. Just like everyone started reporting this campus report, whether it's true or not. It's fucking mental.
It went mental and it became like public thing then.
I'm going to do what Badger does. Paul McCartney.
Thing is, he doesn't know. Every time he does that, I don't put it in, just like them.
Well, edit it. Try to throw the whack a knob in it. That'll be the only one to do.
Oh my god.
A cheap plug. It's up there somewhere. Paul, it's actually a good video.
Yeah, it is a really good video of Paul McCartney. I love that one.
I was only asking you about what your timeline was, not for you to jump in, because I got one before that, but that's fine. It's okay. You're very used to jumping the gun.
Sorry.
The next one, honestly, the next one I have is 1895. Actually, it's called the Winstead Wild Man, and there was reports of a large man, stark naked and covered with hair all over his body. He ran out of a clump of bushes. He had fearful yells and cries and made for the woods in lightning speed and disappeared.
This sounds like a guy that's had like a 4-day bender on mushrooms and forgotten who he is.
Not just mushrooms, but if I remember my cowboy movies, the firewater back then was fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
You'd have a drink, you'd be like, you'd be seeing stars for 3 weeks. Yeah, honestly. The only thing that's a bit weird is stark naked and hair all over his body.
It wasn't me. When was this?
1895.
1995 it might have been me. 1895 it was. I can categorically deny I wasn't there.
Worryingly, I don't doubt in 1995 you've been running through the woods stark naked, but you would have been 14.
Still want to stop there.
Probably would. Woo! But the thing that gets me the most is, he had all these yells and cries because he could have been off his fucking tits.
Yeah, he's off his tits and his...
But made for the woods at lightning speed. Now, all the reports I've seen from the Yeti or from Bigfoot, apologies, is
big, slow, lumbering.
Yeah, it's like, I'm 9'7" and I can't fucking move my fat ass.
Yeah.
This guy's like, woof!
The Usain Bolt of fucking Bigfoot.
Can you imagine? Usain Bolt, hairy and naked, 100 metre sprint.
Bigfoot just jumps out of the bus, goes, runs off, and as he gets onto a rise and goes, disappears off a bluff.
What are we doing, please? Well, we're 10 minutes in, we've already started.
Yeah, I think that one I'm just going to fucking ignore that one as any kind of report of Bigfoot. That sounds like a guy smashed up his tits for 3 days on mushrooms whose clothes have ripped in his filthy, he's fallen down cliffs and shit, and just come running out like off his fucking tits and just kind of running.
But it's weird though, 1895, unless you read the journal from 87, I don't know how far away these reports were, but it's a weird thing. Like, if you're going to report you've seen something, it's a weird thing to say, oh, I saw this big hairy bastard run out of the woods. It was screaming at me and it fucking made off down there.
Well, this makes me wonder if it was a case of like, they've seen him, gone back to town, like gone to the sheriff, something like, just seen this big fucking, we saw something weird today, sheriff, like, we'll come and report it, might be not, but this big fucking hairy dude just came out of trees screaming at us, fucked off in trees again. I'm not fucking sure what it was, like, thought I'd best let you know, like, Forest Ranger or sheriff or something like that. And it's like, yeah, we'll look into that, or we've got, let's go see what it is, keep an eye, whatever. And then, is it like 20 years later, someone's gone back through a police and gone, that's a Bigfoot sighting?
Oh, possibly. Yeah.
At the time, it might not be reported as Bigfoot, but 20 years later, someone's gone through it and gone, that's a Bigfoot sighting.
You might be right, it could just be, as I said, the Winstead Wildman. It could have just been someone naked and drunk.
Yeah, it could have been a fucking hermit.
And who's to say it was hair? What if it was naked rolling around in the grass? So, woo!
Yeah, if he's been in fucking woods for weeks, he's covered in mud and grass and shit, and you're going to think it's hair or something, yeah.
That's a good point, that. That's a good point. So, I think I would have come to you next for 1920, but seeing as you jumped to that one, we'll go to 1924. I've got two for 1924.
Go on then. I've just got that one in 1920, there's repeated in 1940.
So, 1924, Albert Ostman said... Sorry, I laughed. I even read it.
So this is a serious one then.
Yeah. And by the way, can I just say, I'm not saying Bigfoot and this, that and the other, and I'm getting them mixed up. The report called it a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's either my notes are shit or my copy of
But no, the general accepted term, and it's generally accepted, like throughout my research as well, was that there's three different names for the same creature. So Yeti is over in Asia in the mountains.
Okay.
Like Abominable Snowman, Yeti are interchangeable. But you go into South America, you've got Chupacabra. And North America, you've got Bigfoot. Canada, you've got Sasquatch.
Okay.
But it's kind of considered, it's kind of believed to be the same creature, but just a different name depending where you are.
Okay.
So, like, if the report mentions a Sasquatch, then it's Canadian Bigfoot. So you can count these reports in Canada.
Oh, okay.
If it's Bigfoot, it's American. If it's Chupacabra, it's South America. Yeah. But they kind of talk about seems to talk about the same animal. It's just a localised name.
Okay. Well, so I because I keep reading, and I've got the different names in several different places. So Albert Ostman said he was abducted by a Sasquatch.
So Canadian then.
Yeah. And held captive by him, and his family were captive for 3 days. So this Sasquatch has gone in and gone, you fuckers, I'm having you. Which kind of says to me that...
I mean, have you copy and pasted that?
Yes. I copied and pasted that. Well, there was a story, and I just wrote the highlight.
Oh, right, so it just says there, it was abducted by a Sasquatch and held captive by him and his family for about 3 days. That makes it sound like Albert was captured by a Sasquatch and his family for 3 days.
No. Yeah, so the Sasquatch and his family didn't capture Albert. Albert was captured.
Albert and his family were captured by the Sasquatch, right?
You're not supposed to read my notes. It makes sense
Sorry,
to me.
I'm looking at that.
It makes sense to me, okay?
But yeah, I mean, this sounds ridiculous.
But
if it's true, fucking terrifying 3 days.
But it kind of shows a point, in my opinion. If this Sasquatch or a Yeti or a fucking Bigfoot, whatever you want to call this big hairy bastard, if he was a carnivore, he would have had them for breakfast.
Probably eaten by end of day one, yeah.
So this is kind of showing that either they're an omnivore and not particularly too fond of meat, but they'll eat if needed, or they're a herbivore.
Does he say how he escaped? Did the Sasquatch just fuck off after 3 days? Or did they get out of a window or something?
When I read the story, I'm struggling to remember now. I think they escaped.
Alright.
They escaped the Sasquatch.
So it makes you wonder what the Sasquatch were holding him for. Like,
it's weird, isn't it?
we're gonna breed, motherfucker.
My women are hairy like me, and I don't like it. You know.
Yeah. Brings a whole new term to that Tenacious D song. Sasquatch is my daddy.
It does. But you can imagine the Sasquatch looking around his family going, no one even got a fucking razor. I'm going to go find a human to fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to bear back that bitch. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm laughing at that because it just sounds ridiculous.
But if you were Albert Ostman, just imagine you're this guy. Why?
Oh, you set yourself up for like a ridicule.
Yeah, why would you come out and go, oh, by the way, it's a big hairy fucker, a Sasquatch, who could only fucking yell like a Wookiee. It's all he could do, and he can be captive for 3 days. It's like, either he's thinking, if I sell the story, I can sell the story, it makes a cash face. Or, if this goes wrong, I'm a bit fucked.
And I've never seen any other story of a Sasquatch indoors or taking people hostage.
Unless it's the Hendersons.
Unless it's Harry and the Hendersons in 90s.
Yeah.
But was that... When was this?
1824.
No, 1924.
Oh, 1924. Yeah.
19... So, was this the basis for Harry and the Hendersons, the TV show in 90s?
I don't think they hit him by the car. They did run over the Harry, didn't they?
They ran over Harry and put him on top of the roof rack thinking they could sell Bigfoot body. And then he woke up when they got home and they're just like, fuck, he's living here now.
Oh shit, we have to feed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie for ages. I'm going to have to watch Harry and the Hendersons now.
Wasn't it 2 movies and a TV show?
Definitely TV shows. I thought,
There was a movie and a TV show. I think it might have been 2 movies and a TV show.
was it 2 movies?
Yeah.
So it's Bigfoot and the Hendersons, wasn't it? And then
It was Bigfoot and the Hendersons was the film.
Harry for the TV series.
Harry and the Hendersons were the TV series.
I'm going to have to look on Netflix.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out now. But yeah.
So next one, 1924 as well. So we're starting to get more common.
Closer and closer now, yeah.
I've kept out the ones where we go, no, we think we've seen Bigfoot. But I chose these ones for interaction purposes.
Right.
So the next one in 1924 is from Fred Beck. He said that he and 4 other miners were attacked one night in July 1924 by several ape men throwing rocks at their cabin that they later called Ape Canyon.
Oh, I love how inventive Americans are with names. Like, there's some apes in this canyon throwing rocks at us. Where? Down there in Ape Canyon. You know, it's like, look at that canyon, doesn't it look grand? Aye, that's the Grand Canyon, lad.
See what you see! And that's where catchphrase came from.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fred Beck. Sure, he's got copyright on catchphrase.
Well, when you said earlier, I thought you said somewhere like Wildman Canyon or something.
Oh, Wildman of Crow Canyon, yeah.
Crow Canyon? Well, there's some crows in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how it's called, Crow Canyon, like. Fuck's it, come on America, get better at naming shit.
What the fuck do we call this? What's that bird? It's crow, that or that. Crow Canyon.
But yeah, I mean, this again doesn't fit with any of the Bigfoot sightings because Bigfoot is kind of elusive and secretive and tries to avoid human contact. Why we don't know if he exists or not because he's that good at doing it. And, you know, it's camouflaged and covers his tracks and all this. And then, no, about 10 of them got together and threw rocks at a fucking cabin. We've never seen any expression of that behaviour in any other sighting before.
But if we give Bigfoot, let's just pretend Bigfoot is real for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not playing my hand just yet. But if Bigfoot is real, and we see it from a 21st century lens, and we can't find him, if he's real, he's intelligent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's able to hide evidence. We'll talk about, I'm sure, at the end. Basically, but we'll go over that. But he's able to hide his tracks completely. So if in 1924, they're encroaching on his patch, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are just miners. They don't have any technology, they don't have guns on them or anything. We don't know for certain. But if they're encroaching this patch, they could. It's easy at this point to say there's no cameras, there's no video footage. It's just going to be 4 men's word against me. Well, he's probably thinking as a Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, going, oh, they're going to say we exist, and they're going to look like fucking Looney Tunes. What does it matter?
I don't know. I think you're giving Bigfoot like a massive understanding of humanity and man's society by going, oh, he's going to go, if he says we exist, he's going to sound like a nut job. People are going to think he's a nutter.
Is it any more weird than thinking he exists and can hide his tracks and he can hide it having a shit in the woods, for God's sake? You know, to bury his own shit.
But you take a dog for a walk, it covers his shit up on grass.
You find it everywhere, they're stepping it fucking regularly.
Your house cat, covers its shit up in a litter box.
But it's still evidence you can find it.
Yeah, because you know where it is. But like I said, they're out in the wild. Cats cover it. Cats bury it, don't they? They dig a hole and bury it.
But wouldn't a dog be able to go, what the fuck is that smell?
Yeah, but humans can't. So what I'm saying is like Bigfoot.
We've got friends. Humans have got dogs. And other animals that can find it.
Yeah, but dogs only go find scents that you train them to. So you have to, like when you've got a dog that's searching for drugs, he only knows what he's looking for because you give it the scent of drugs. Like you go, smell that, now go find it.
I don't know. I think
we haven't got Bigfoot shit to go. Hey, smell that Bigfoot shit. By going to the woods and finding some Bigfoot shit.
Well,
the dog doesn't know what it's looking for.
Well, dogs go find. well, when I used to have a dog before, he used to go for a walk, like, oh, what's that new smell? And he'd be fucking off. It's like, oh, come back, big bastard, you know. I had a big Irish wolfhound, a big bastard. And it took you for a walk. You didn't take it for a walk. And if it's not something it wanted, it was off.
But I just think the dogs you're taking to Woodsby's like hunting dogs and stuff are more well trained than that.
Yeah, I mean,
so they ignore scent unless they've been told to look for a scent, but we can't give it the scent to look for.
I'm going to do disclosure now.
Really?
A lot on this video, I am going to play devil's advocate. Right?
I'm just trying to be logical here.
Try argue another side of the case, even no matter how silly it is, because some of these stories are really silly.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and be a sense of opposite just for the sake of it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a lot of animals cover the tracks, bury their own shit and stuff like that. And so the idea of Bigfoot doing that isn't outlandish and actually buys into a lot of people, a lot of animals in the wild. But none of the sightings show this aggressive behaviour towards humans, like capturing something in a cabin and holding them for 3 days, or throwing rocks at a group of them together, throwing rocks.
I guess what I was trying to get to the point here is that, okay, I probably didn't explain it very well, but if we say that the Bigfoot is socially smart and knows how to hide its tracks, it could also potentially be socially smart for the time it's in as well. So, if it's...
With this, I think you're giving too much intelligence. With this one, the way I see it being is that it's against all the other behaviours we've seen in Bigfoot sightings before and after, right? The big key for me is the miners. So if they started digging into a mountainside and 10 foot that way is a Bigfoot cave.
Encroaching, yeah.
And it's a case of like they're asleep, they're fucking digging away. It'd run, it'd go, it'd leap, but there's that close, it can't run, so it's just fucking throwing bricks to get them away because it's frightened and scared.
I mean, that's a good point, but...
Yeah, they digging close to this fucking cave and they're just like... You know, it could be, you could have fucking that much wall between a Bigfoot cave and where you're mining and you wouldn't know we were there. You know what I mean? In 1924 anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking, that's a very good point, but I was thinking more about social engineering and learned behaviour. That in 1924, it's still looking at humans as being similar to them, really. We're not really... The Industrial Revolution's only been around for, 15 years? You know, there's not...
No, but I think even at that point, you're seeing... Even in like 1850s, 1870, you're seeing humans on horseback, you're seeing humans building towns. But big trains were about in 1870, so... I mean, you're not going to equate them to you. You're still going to be scared like, there's an animal riding another animal, fuck, run away from that.
But what I think I'm trying to get to the point is if... That's nearly 100 years ago. It's 2021 now. I'm just trying to compare apples for oranges here. So 1924 to 2021.
Yeah.
If Bigfoot was a social animal with some form of intelligence, it would look at us now and go, there's no fucking way I'm getting involved with them guys because they are... They could cap my ass overnight. I mean, 1924, it'd be like...
We're just moving into the frontier, we're just building their area.
But maybe they're like, you know, not to the point of, we'll go, you know what, we could probably take our chances. So, it's about protection of the species.
Do you think that's what you're basically saying is they're up in mountains as the town out the bottom? They can see the town but going, we can see them. We're just going to stay away from them for now. And then, as the town's got bigger and bigger, they've gone, fucking get away from each other, let's not be seen.
In 1924, or in these early cases, is it possible that the Neanderthal, fucking hell, not Neanderthal at all, that's even fucking earlier, but is it possible that Bigfoot didn't see humans really as a threat?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, Bigfoot's up in mountain, this town pops up, but they can see the town from the mountain, right?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, that's interesting, that's new, what are they doing? And then, 50 years later, the town's encroaching into the forest, Bigfoot's like, let's get the fuck out of here. We're not being around these fuckers. We've seen them grow, we've seen what they do, we don't know what to do with it, we're getting, keep yourself hidden from them. Whereas at first, 1924, they're getting close by an house, throw bricks at them, they'll run away. Now, they've seen how much we've expanded and what we're doing, they've just got fucking don't be seen at all.
Go in hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the way I'm looking at how things have progressed is there's lots of personal interactions early on. And as we get further on, it's just sightings.
Just sightings. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going at there, was that early on, when encroaching into their territory and they're like, this is new, who are you, what are you up to? We'll observe your town. later on it's like, we've seen what you lot do with each other, we're having fuck all to do with you.
Exactly.
We stay hidden now. So early on, you know that house will throw bricks into you and away. Now it's just like, you're not going to fucking see us at all. Even if you're burrowing into my house, I'm just going to pretend I'm not here and escape from you.
Yeah, and so, as I said before, I'm giving credence that these exist and trying to give a thought process. I don't necessarily believe the things we're saying right now, but it's just trying to...
No, just I'm trying to put the logic to why they're throwing bricks and stuff, and that's a good point.
Okay. I've got a big leap now from 1924 to 1958, personally.
Right.
There were other things that happened in between. They weren't particularly interactive. It's just like, I've seen this, I've seen that, and it's no big shakes. But the next one is one of the first physical evidences we could possibly talk about, where we've got something, and that's it.
Was this Wallace?
Yes, it's Wallace. Yeah.
Right.
So Ray Wallace. So in 1958. Large footprints were found on multiple occasions at a road construction site along Bluff Creek in ALEuminati County.
What these footprints found in the concrete, like the poured wet concrete it was set in, and overnight they come back the next morning there were footprint in it.
Oh, I don't know.
Or what it found in the road where they were digging up to cut.
I just thought it was in the road, and that there was imprints around the road going into the site.
I think because it was a road construction site, I think it would have set concrete and then the next morning and there's a big footprint in it.
I don't know the answers to that. Put us right in the comments. Because clearly my investigation's not very good.
I think that's how I read it as. I think that's what I remember reading.
So this was between, there was a bulldozer operator called Gerald Crew and a guy called Ray Wallace. And they found these footprints, and I'm glossing over this because, as I said, there's over 3,000 sightings, but we can't sit on
cover
this.
them all. No.
So this is very, very brief. However, Ray Wallace, all the way to his death, said, I believe completely that what we found is Bigfoot. We found evidence of Bigfoot, we found all this, and
which, must have taken quite a lot of ridicule in his time and in his local town and shit, but he stuck to his guns and said, I know what I saw were real.
Is it ridicule or some sort of fame? So if you're in a small town, and if people buy into it, regardless of whether the rest of the nation do, but if you're like a mini celebrity because of something you found, and to the end you go, it was real, it was real, it was real, it was real, it doesn't matter what you say. Regardless of whether you believe your own lies or not, if you're in a small town with just a few thousand people, and you're like the celebrity, you're going to get a free lunch today, you're going to get a free drink in the bar, if you keep the story up.
Yeah, but it could also go the other way of being, if that's the case, then yeah, why wouldn't you believe it? Why wouldn't you say we believe it to his dying breath? If that's the case, he's getting the fame and the adoration.
And that's the problem, that's what happened though. Like,
if it's the other way, where it's like, he's having a fucking quiet drink in a bar, and then the fucking lads in the going, come on, fucking why tell us about the time you saw Bigfoot, you crazy bastard.
It's like Independence Day. I remember when he got fucking abducted.
Yeah. The guy in
Aliens abused him sexually.
Aliens were all taking the piss out of him and whatnot. So it's like, if it's like that, why would you just defend it to your dying day? Like, it's real, no, you're all taking the piss, but we're real. You're just making it worse for yourself.
But I don't think that's what happened. I think this was seen as the first tangible physical evidence, really.
So he became, like, if that went nationals, then
people bought into it.
He put their small town on the map.
And himself.
But he put their small town, not the small town loving as a hero,
That may be so, but I would say that for all the ridicule he might have got, he also got some infamy, some fame out of it as well. And he's probably going, I can dine on that till the day I die. I'm being cynical, because if it was real, and he said, I truly believe what I've seen is real, and these footprints are real, and we've got evidence.
Yeah,
I mean, it's dying day.
It's like, just stuck in my head when he's saying he dined out on that. But I was talking to someone this morning who's a friend with Brian Dean, the ex-Leeds player.
Which nice, legend.
Right. And I went, he's got the first ever goal in Premier League. And he went, yeah, he's still dining out on that today.
And so he fucking should.
He's like, yeah, so you should, why not, Paul? But yeah, just when he said dine out, just because someone used that phrase this morning, we're just like, Brian Dean's got the first ever Premier League goal, and he went, yeah, he's still dining out on that today.
But also, this other thought process of, when you say a lie, and you get so deep into it, either in your life you attract it and look like an absolute bastard, but you've got to see it through. No matter the outcome, you've got to see.
There's a certain point where when a lie goes on for so long, you've got to commit to it now, whether you believe it or not. You've got to commit to it because actually, if you turn around and go, well, look at first comes to mind the Loch Ness Monster picture.
Oh yeah.
Right, that was believed to be a real picture for like 20 years or something.
Until it's nearly his dying day.
Anyway. Actually, we faked it, and this is how we did it.
Yeah.
And he was fucking vilified and hated all over the country.
It's like, I'm gonna fucking die anyway. I don't care. You know?
Yeah, but at that point, it's when a lie's gone on that long. Actually, coming clean is worse than keeping the lie going.
Oh yeah, exactly. You've got to commit. And the funny thing after so Ray Wallace, to his dying day, said this is true, this is true, this is true. However, since his death, and he can't now defend himself.
Yeah, he can't defend himself now. Yeah.
It was found that his son Michael revealed that his dad was in possession of a large, poorly crafted, obviously fake wooden feet. So either this is
two things spring to mind here. Either one, he made a giant wooden foot to create these footprints.
To make the footprints to start with.
Yeah. In which case, once you've made the footprints, wouldn't you just burn the fucking wooden foot so you can't ever be found out?
You'd expect to kill the evidence, right?
Yeah. Destroy the evidence, or did he make the foot to fake it in case why did he get rid of the evidence? Or has he made the foot afterwards to try and go out and make more footprints so people believe in them? Or is he trying to recreate it to show people this is what I found, this is what it looked like?
I mean, fucking hell, you can go down loads of avenues here. So there's a couple. So another one to add to the pot there is he's created the. But I don't know actually. I'm debunking myself as I'm saying it now because why would he be open? I was thinking, create the feet to go. This is what I saw. It looked this big, but he'd be open about it. He'd go, here's a plastic cast of what we saw, and therefore I've recreated the side of his foot. And this
is what things like so when people see something and they draw it. Or whatever, you know what I mean? I saw this and they'll draw what they saw and stuff. Has he just sculpted the footprint that he saw? In which case, why wouldn't you go, I've made this thing, what I saw, rather than going, oh no, we didn't know he even had that, his son's found it under his bed after he died.
And again, it reminds me of a UFO case that I'm still on the fence with. But a guy called Billy Meyer in Switzerland, one-armed farmer who claims that he saw loads of UFOs with lots of contacts, but what they found is that he said he recreated what he saw and created loads of models of these alien spacecraft. But they're an exact replica of the things he saw in his photos. So it's like, well, I didn't create the photos. I created what I saw so people could see exactly what I saw.
I've no problem with that. If he's like describing a scene, an encounter that he's had, he can't get it along properly or describe it properly, so recreates it, takes a photo, like builds it with models and takes a photo of it and go, right, look, I've recreated as best as I could, this is what I saw.
Yeah.
That's fine, you're telling me it's a recreation, that's fine. If you're going, here's a photograph of what I saw, you're implying that you took that's the actual thing frozen in time, rather than a thing you've recreated.
Yeah.
If you're saying, this is what I saw, and passing the photograph of what you saw, then you're falsifying evidence. If you go, this is a recreation of what I saw, and I tried to recreate it as the best I could, that's an interpretation of evidence.
Yeah, yeah.
There's two different things.
It's difficult sometimes. If I think I said this.
If you're passing the photo as genuine evidence, you're lying and you're fabricating evidence. If you're saying the photograph is, I recreated the scene and took a photograph of it, that's fine. You're just trying to if you try to describe. It's like, when you, what's the game? It's not picture of it, where you describe something to someone and they have to draw it, and it's never what you see in your head.
Charade.
Yeah, not charades. No, charades where you act it out.
Oh, I draw it, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Where you describe, I think it was the game. I can't remember the game now, but yeah, if you stand there and you've got three people in front of you and you describe, like, oh, there's a field with it's got a river running down the right hand side of it, and there's an oak tree at the back, and you explain that, and you have four people in front of you drawing it, and you finish, you'll have four completely different drawings.
Yeah, of course you'll do.
So when you're trying to describe something, people are getting different visions. So you recreate what's in your head and take a photo and go, this is what I saw, and then everybody gets that same thing.
That's possibly so, yeah.
So that's a recreation. I'm fine with that. But if you're going, I took a picture of what I saw and passing that off as real photo at the moment, that's fabricated evidence.
I mean, the problem I have with this Ray Wallace thing is, his family came out at the end and said, we've got these wooden feet. It was definitely a prank. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking breaking the table.
Smashing the glass table. This homebrew's strong.
It's lost his bearings already. He said also that they created hair and feces samples and they left the ones from bisons and so on to like recreate this. There's also hair.
Right, so this is wrong because in his sightings he never saw Bigfoot. He never saw it. He didn't. So why are you gathering hair samples and that to me says you're faking it now. You're setting it. That says to me like he's going out to make another set of footprints and he's going to find some hair in some tree bark and make his story more believable.
So I've got a couple of thoughts going on. So I'll go down one and come back to the other. If let's just say that you created these. Let's just say that you found these feet.
Mm-hmm.
You believe them to be real, 100%.
Right.
Wholeheartedly, balls deep.
Yeah.
I am in. And everyone ridiculed you. Nonsense, bullshit. What are you fucking talking about? But no one believed you and they thought you were crazy. And your only fight back was to go, well, what I'm gonna have to do now, my only way to fight back is people won't believe a word I say is to try and recreate it. I'm gonna disprove myself if I get caught. Of course I am. I've got no chance.
But if I can find a second set with a hair sample,
yeah.
Now they have to believe.
They have got to believe me. Because if it came down the angle of, I'm honestly true, but no one will believe a word I said.
But the thing is, he never made that second claim.
I don't know.
He made this claim, and then after he died, his kids found this. So it sounds like he was preparing to do it.
I think so, probably. But my only other issue I have with this particular statement is, and honestly, if there's extra evidence, I didn't go this deep on this to be honest. I don't think I've seen a picture or anything of the purported wooden feet that the family said they did. So
this could just be. You think this could be dads are crazy? Kids have lived with it growing up. Dad's dead now. Let's just debunk dad as a crazy. Let's just say he had all this shit that he didn't have. Let's just say he had it, and then we can
live our lives now.
We can live our lives now, and it's done. We'll just fucking discredit that completely, so no one talks about it again.
That's another point that could possibly be. That could possibly be that. But the reason I brought this particular one up is it was a big deal in the Bigfoot story.
No.
Physical evidence.
I mean, it's the first time we had
footprints. Yeah. And when it was created and caused a panic.
Yeah, I can see that. I see why it's whether it's real or not. It's influential to the myth of Bigfoot because now we've got evidence. We've got all these stories and sightings, but now we've got the first ever footprint. I
mean, I'm labelling this number one because that is the first one, as far as I'm concerned. That being, it's not just some crazy seen him in the woods talking about a hairy man. Someone said I've got some physical, tangible evidence.
Right. Okay. So what's the next story you've got?
1964.
Oh, right. So it's only a 6-year gap, no?
Yeah. Instead of a 24-year gap. Yeah. The reason I picked this one is again, it's interaction.
Oh, right.
And it is mental. If you believe this, it's fucking mental. Mrs. John, right.
Mrs. John.
Yeah. So no, I'll read this. So, my good lady. It would be like me calling her Mrs. Amy Barlam.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weirdly written that this particular person, it's the Mrs., her first name, and then her husband's last name. It's instead of saying, it's like me saying Mrs. Craig Barlam to Amy.
Oh, right, I get you.
So she's my Mrs., but she's not allowed the name.
Yeah, it's that thing at weddings, isn't it, where it's sort of like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the dance floor, Mr. and Mrs. Badger Nemerson.
Yeah.
And it's like, I heard it's really outdated thing, but 1964 supposed to be at the time.
But I don't even know her name, but Mrs. John Utrup.
Yeah, like Donald Trump's property.
Yeah. John's fucking branded her ass.
Yeah, like
She's mine. And she will be Mrs. John Newtrip from this point forward.
that's what it's, you know, you might like traditional values and stuff like that, and that's fine, that's great, but I'm glad this is one traditional concept we dropped and got rid of.
But this may make you smile. I'm going to read the next 2 lines and I'm going to watch your face for interaction.
Sure.
So, Mrs. John Newtrip said she was chased into her house near Jupiter Lake in Dowagitch, Michigan, by a 9-foot-tall hairy biped. So some big 9-foot-tall hairy bastard chased her into her house. She obviously locked the door, cowered in fear, or alternatively, husband's coming home, she kicked out the fucking next door neighbour she'd been shagging because she's called fucking Mrs. John Newtrip.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no! That big hairy man, that big beautiful hairy bastard, no, he's a fucking
No, Bigfoot running away. Yeah. So I'm just, you know, you get weird things where one thing gets and it's stuck in your head.
Yeah.
All I've got is Rock Horror Show stuck in my head now.
Why?
Because right at the beginning, just before they start singing "Damn It, Janet," Janet, so I go, oh, who can believe it? Just yesterday she was playing old Betty Monroe, but now she's Mrs. Ralph Hapshot.
It could be in it. Look at that.
I know that thing word for word. But yeah, that's all stuck about like the Mrs. John Upton. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think of an example of it, but yeah, it's just like yesterday she was playing old Betty Monroe, now she's Mrs. Ralph Hapshot.
So,
but yeah, this is some. I'm going to say really, really awful, but yeah. But yeah, there's some big hairy guy running out of the house. And yeah, did you hear that? That wasn't one of those lumberjacks from in woods. No, that was a big farm. I'm petrified. I'm scared. And he could genuinely see how scared and shaken she was. So it must be true. Not the fact she was genuinely scared and shaken that she was so close to getting caught out in an affair with a lumberjack. You know.
Anyone who's called Mrs. and takes the husband's first name as their name is I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, I don't think that's a besmirchment on her or her character or her morals. That's just
product of the time.
A product of the time, a concept of the time on it. Yeah.
But I just thought that was terrible.
It is through today's lens. Through 1964, it were, you know, women were supposed to be good wives and make nice apple pies and live in suburbia Americana.
What women made nice apple pies and looked after the men. Right, I'm renaming my missus when I get in. It's done. It's a done deal. She's now Mrs. Craig Bartlett. That's what she's called when I get in.
Oh.
I want my apple pie, damn it.
Imagine me going upstairs saying that to my missus. I'll be on a fucking podcast next week with a black eye. Look, my fiance is a feminist. She's gonna love this fucking video when it goes out.
She'll never watch it. Then the next one is the biggest one. I'm gonna put as number 2. This is the famous 1967 video.
Is
Gimlin.
Is this the Sally video that it was called or something?
Did they call it Sally?
This is the most famous footage, Bigfoot footage ever. Yeah.
Where it's walking and then turns over its left shoulder.
So it looks, and it just carries on walking. So like,
yeah.
I think we're called Betty or Sally or something. I read him in somewhere, but yeah. Sorry, half my notes have deleted themselves. That's why I'm kind of going. But yeah, I remember reading like Betty or Sally or something.
Right. Okay.
It's named as or something like that.
I didn't find its nickname.
But yeah, this is the most famous footage ever. Which I remember seeing this because this was 67.
67, yeah.
I first saw it in like the 90s. This was like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, I think. Do you know who I think I saw it with first? Is what's Riker's name from Star Trek? It's not Brett Spiner. It's the other one. Brett something or other. Not Brett.
It's not Jonathan Frakes.
Yes.
Believe it or not. Or,
yeah. The Believe It or Not final. So I'm pretty sure I saw it on that for the first time.
Yeah, I think I might have seen it or something like that. But yeah, I remember at the time going like my mind being blown. Like it's real. It's on video. It's Bigfoot. You've got it. It's real. Like This is it. Done. Story put to bed. We've got proof it exists. It's real. We've got it on camera. Doing my research, I watched it again, and like, that's a dude in a fucking gorilla costume.
It's funny because I think you're right, but I always try to look at the evidence and then go, try debunk the evidence and try debunk myself. That's my triangle.
Yeah, but the problem I had with this, you watch it now and it's blatantly a guy in a suit. It's obviously a guy in a suit, right? But I remember it a lot cleaner and crisper than what it was. Like, nostalgia's formed my memory to make it be almost 4K image in my head, and when you watch it you go, that's not the footage I saw, because I've rewrote my memory so many times of it.
Yeah.
It's become really crisp and clear in my head when I play it back in my mind. It's perfect crystal clear, and you watch it and you go, I don't remember being that blurry, and that's blatantly a fucking suit. And someone recreated the image that I saw as a kid. Is this the footage I saw as a kid? Because it's not, this is funny as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, no, it's the footage you saw as a kid, but as a kid you just took everything you saw on TV as gospel.
So, I mean, when I'm reading about this is the only video footage I know that can't be disproved, even though you've got your own thoughts about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying he's blatantly a guy in a gorilla costume, but the other side of that argument is, what was the quality of the video cameras at the time? Could he get into focus? Were he shaking and getting into focus and stuff? And could you get a clear picture with that camera at that distance? And so it might look like a costume today, but that might be the best footage that camera could have got. So it looks dodgy because of the format it's being filmed in and stuff, and
I mean,
the capability of the camera.
I mean, look, let's go for the reasons why we think it's fake.
Well, it's like when you're outside and you see all the stars, you go, fucking hell, I don't know what people have, but people got better phones than me. I've got an S6, right? But recently we had light night in Leeds, and because we can't be there and have the light rays, we had the
light
lasers,
show.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck, that looks amazing. Got my phone out and filmed it, right? And then when I look back on my phone, there's no there. My phone didn't pick it up, and there's been stuff where I've zoomed in on something and it's gone all pixelated and grainy, and it's just like, because the camera's shit at that resolution. So is that camera really good for this close up? But this is like fucking 40 yards away, so the resolution's really shit.
Maybe, but
so it looks fake today because it's pixelated and crappy. You know what I mean?
Well, let's have a look at the reasons why against,
Go on then.
and then the reasons for. I think so. If we take it to its bare bones, so Patterson said, he basically said, I'm going to go into I am going into the wilderness to find irrefutable evidence of Bigfoot.
And just so happens to come back with the only ever video evidence.
Yes, and this is the thing.
Convenient.
So, he returned the same day with the footage of just Bigfoot just strolling past his camera. Not only that, taking a good look back and going, "Have you got me, Bob? Have you got me? Brilliant!" And then just carrying on walking on. So that is very, very convenient.
Very staged. Looks staged. Sounds stage managed. When you have that information and you see the video, it looks and sounds stage managed.
And do you not think? I know you think that it might be the product of the time in regards to the fact that the video camera could be shit this and the other, but it could also be argued that it was purposefully out of tune, and it was grainy on purpose. Yeah,
because if you get a clear picture of it, you can disprove it if it's grainy.
Look at shoelaces, fucking hell.
Gives doubt, And if it looks like, if the costume's too baggy, well then you just turn the zoom a bit off and get a bit shaky, and you can't exactly see if the costume's baggy or not. You can hide it with that, so,
So,
makes me wonder how many times did they film this before they released one? Did they film this 20 different ways? And then go, that's the best one, we'll release that. Oh, look, we found delete the other 19.
But people counterpoint this, though. And this is the thing, this is the reason why this footage, if it's faked, it's very well faked. Mm-hmm. Because you've got other people going, actually, if you take the size of this particular animal, it's got to be 500 pounds. It's got to be 7 feet tall. You can see its muscle mass that you can't fake. And you're looking at how its muscles move, and you can't fake it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've seen in favour of it is the gait. The animal's gait and the way it moves.
Well, 'cause it's so big and its step.
Yeah, its step is proportionate to its size and stuff, and that's a bit I struggle to. I don't know. Again, you could bulk a suit out and you can walk in a certain way. That looks legit. Do that, walk like that, mate. And it's like, well, you know, a human couldn't keep up that pace for so long. Well, it's only 5 fucking seconds. You know, it's.
I mean, we need to remember that Patterson was not a rich person either. So
Yeah.
to go out and go
Rich enough to have a camera in the 60s.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point because
Cameras weren't cheap in 90s. So.
that's also true. This has had so many eyes over it, but I think what the basic assumption is, based upon where it was, where your video footage was from, it's 6'6" and 350 pounds. That's what they're kind of saying. That if that was real and it wasn't just a man in a suit with all fucking extras, that's how big it would be. The thing I do want to say is that people have come out since then and said, you know, this is fake and this is how we did it. Now either they're saying that for just to make their own money off the end of a conspiracy that's constantly going, or the spitting truth.
The problem I have with that as well is like people come out 20 years later and fake the footage and gone, proves this footage. We faked this footage because to prove that footage was fake. Yeah, but you faked that footage in 90s with 90s materials that are readily available in 90s that wouldn't have been available in 64 when they filmed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, when you go, oh, well, we bought this suit off the internet and we used these techniques. Like, well, yeah, that's great, but where did you buy that suit from? We didn't get it off fucking Amazon in 64.
Well, it tells you.
Right? And then also, yeah, you're using these filming techniques, but those filming techniques weren't invented till 83 and you're using them in 92. This was filmed in 64.
Well, Bob Gimlin, who was with Roger Patterson, said that he was the one in the suit.
No, well then, that's it then.
So he's come out and said, listen, I was in the suit, and I just need to find the note because I'm sure that I read about where how they did it. This may take me a second, because he was talking about some of the specific questions were, how do you make the arms longer? How do you make the body bigger? To make it look like it was...
It was moving and not just flapping about.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, if the guy who's one of the two people responsible comes out and goes, yeah, we faked it. Oh, you faked it, then that's...
But, I've got to be careful here, because in 1958, it went everywhere. It went fucking bonkers. It went bananas. Everyone was on top of it. Then, a decade later, it's gone quiet. And you're like, could do with a couple of quid.
You know, they were speaking talk about how we faked it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But again, this is going back to Wallace. We're going like, you know, he's to his dying day said it were real. Then, in the family, allegedly found these wooden foots and stuff. And like, well, it's like, well, if it's got to the point where we were saying like the lie's gone on that long that you have to stick to it. Like, if you come out a decade later and go, yeah, we faked that, and it's like, no, you're now the most hated people in America. You're not going on a speaking tour, you're not going on a talk show, you're fucking hated. And if you do go to a talk show, it's going to be, why are you such a cunt? Why did you fool America? You're proud of yourself. You're a disgusting human being. You know, it's...
Yeah, I mean, just to get to the point, I found my note last. Fucking sorry, it's so long. Philip Morris, who was a maker of sideshow gorilla suits, admits to selling Patterson a suit shortly before the Bigfoot film was shot, as well as giving the man instructions on how to customise it to give longer arms, broader shoulders, etc. And so basically he came out, he said, well, this is how to make it look particularly fake.
So this is a conspiracy. Not a conspiracy theory like we're reporting, but this was a conspiracy to make a fraudulent video. Yeah. You've got the guy with the camera, you've got the guy in the suit, and you've got a guy who made the suit and told them how to extend it to make it look real.
It looks that way. It does look that way. But the thing, it's still a case of this reason why this video footage is still quite quite exceptional, really, is you've got people still today poring over it, going, you can see the quads and the muscle, and it's
the video's not clear enough to do that. I think that's just confirmational bias. That's people looking to reassert their faith, their belief. It's if the guy who made it has come out and said we faked it, then you've got to take it as being fake, because otherwise. So there's two things here, right? So the guy who made it put the video out and said I filmed Bigfoot, and then later comes out and says I faked it. Right? So you've either got to take him on his word that he's faked it and he's a liar.
Yeah.
Or you've got to go, no, the footage is real. But he said he faked it. No, but he's lied about that to get people off his back or stop being linked with it or whatever. So whichever way you take it, the guy who made this video is a liar. He's either lying about it being real or he's lying about it being faked. He released a video and said, we shot Bigfoot, here's footage of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later went, I faked that Bigfoot footage. So he's either lying about the footage being real or he's lying about faking the footage. Yeah. So either way, he's a liar.
Well, one of them is, yeah. Not Patterson, but Gimlin.
Well, no, but Patterson let the video go out as being real and made money off it being real.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, so it's either it's real and he's a liar, it's real and he's lying about faking it, or he faked it and he's a liar for saying it's real. So either way, he's a liar.
Or alternatively, he was coerced, in fact co-opted into creating something, didn't realise it was going to go so big.
Yeah, but if it went so big, wouldn't you straight, as soon as it fucking blows up, wouldn't you go, no, let me tell you the truth about Bigfoot. It's a height of it, you go, let me tell you the truth about it, it will fake.
But it's easy to say that, but
you make more money that way.
Yeah, but it's easy to say that, but you're not in it.
Yeah, I know, you're not in it, you don't know what your thoughts are at the time.
Or the pressure, or this, that, we weren't privy to the conversations, but there's just so many counter-arguments about, could it even be possible with 60s technology to create a real-looking, heavily weighted, because it's not like, when you look at this video, and just look at it from an objective eye, where you're looking at this big animal walking, it doesn't look like, in all honesty, it doesn't look like just a guy with long arms and long legs. The fucking arse is padded out, it's girthy, it's big. So a person inside that suit, if it really was 6'6" and 350 pounds,
it takes a measurable strength to move.
You'd have to be padded though. You'd have to have some form of something inside that suit to pad out the arse, pad out the legs. Yeah. It's not going to be a case of just me sat in a suit. I'd look like a Wookiee, right? Rather than a fucking Bigfoot. If you stuck me in a suit,
yeah.
And so the counter.
Oh, I'm gonna say if it's fake, it's incredibly well fed.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the guy's come out and said it's fake, then you can't say it's real because
But you can. They can't again.
The guy could be lying just to get off his back. And
if you've got no money coming in it anymore, you go, well, okay. What's the best way to
it might even be about money, alright, let's switch again. It might even be about money, it's just a case of like, no, the guy's trying to get on with his life, he's trying to fucking live his life and start again, and he's just, oh, you're the guy, the Bigfoot, you're the guy from Bigfoot, like just, no, we faked it. And then suddenly it's massive news that he said he's faked it, he's just trying to fucking get away and just fucking...
Yeah, I think the point people are trying to make is it was difficult for Hollywood at the time, even Hollywood, to create this video in the way that it was. And that's why it's difficult because of the 60s to do this video in the 60s, like Planet of the Apes and that style. You'd have to have that type of, because even the Planet of the Apes, that's just like guys in suits.
Yeah, they did that.
And so to say that two guys,
I just think like, oh, well, my other guy going to be fucking George Lucas made fucking Star Wars on broken battleship sets and lollipop sticks and Scotch tape. But that was in 77, he invented blue screen technology more or less, so...
And he had some studio money, I suppose.
He had studio money and a film education.
So this is such a debatable piece of video footage. That it's easy to counter-argue on either side, in my opinion. So it's never been debunked, but it's also...
Never been proven.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Yeah, obviously.
I mean, you can't prove it, and by not being able to prove it means you're not able to debunk it either.
I think it's easy to debunk and to prove, but at the same time, there's so many counter-arguments which make it grey which go, well, how would you, in the 1960s technology, make this look real?
Yeah.
Without a studio. And if it really is 6'6" and 350 pounds based upon the angle you're looking at, how would you pad out a suit to make it look that way?
And we can't recreate you, because even if you went back, we're already using materials that were built in 1964. We've still got 2021 knowledge of filmmaking and
we're tainted, of course.
So we can't ever truly recreate it.
Yeah. So I always, all this evidence says, I've got a feeling that this is fake, but I can't prove it either way. My gut is telling me this just looks bullshit, but I can't prove the other side of it.
No, I'll take that. My feeling is it's fake, but I've got to put it in that grey area of I believe it's fake, but I can't prove it's not. Therefore, that doesn't mean it's proven. It's just in that grey area of.
It's a tough one.
This is a timeless enigma. It's never going to be solved because the people who were alive at the time, the people who made it, are all dead.
Is Gimlin dead?
We're talking 60 years after the film was made.
Yeah, it probably will be then, yeah.
And I'm guessing they're like 20, 30 at the time it was made.
They probably will.
Probably about 40 at the time it was made, but let's say they were 20. They'd still be 84, 88 today.
So even me and you, in a 2021 lens, looking at this video go, we still don't know.
I'm 90-10 on it being fair.
I think I'm the same as you. But
and the 10 is only just the bits that I can't disprove. It's not that proves it, it's just that last 10% I can definitely say this is fake. There's that 10% of doubt, which in a court of law you can't convict someone with. If I were on a jury and I've got 90% sure you committed a crime, and I'm on the jury and 10% doubt, I can't prove beyond reasonable doubt, therefore I can't convict you.
Well, reasonable doubt is 90-10 is reasonable.
Well, 90-10 reasonable, but you know what point I'm making. There's a bit of doubt there to go. I can't say this is fake. I'm about 90-10.
It would be a very difficult discussion. It's
Yeah.
like, I've got doubt. I think they're guilty, but fuck me, I'm not sure about this 10%. But I'm going to have to make a decision, so I'm going to have to go down to 90%, even though I'm not completely convinced. That's that sort of thing we're looking at. Okay, so I'm sure people know the 1967 footage. Sorry, the 1967?
Yeah, 1967.
Yeah.
Parkinson and
I got the date right. Congratulations, great. So, everyone, if you don't know it, just go look on YouTube.
Everyone in the world's seen it.
Yeah, it's the most famous Yeti footage there is.
Yeah.
Bigfoot footage, Sasquatch footage, whatever the fuck you call it.
Yetis. That's on the side of the world, mate.
Right, big hairy bastard footage. It's one of the most famous big hairy bastard footages there is. And I'm sure you've all seen it. Go have a look and see if you can debunk it yourself, or if you believe it, stick it in the comments. The next year after this is a massive leap in years. It's 27-year leap.
What? Okay.
In regards to
influential sightings or interactions,
once we got past the video footage, all I was concerned with then is...
Because once that video footage came out, Bigfoot sightings exploded. Every man in his hunting dog saw Bigfoot.
Well, I became more concerned...
And then he actually gave birth to that time, I think, as well. I think the 6-7 footage, it's around about 70s, it gave birth to Bigfoot hunters.
Oh, yeah.
So where it became hunters were reporting seeing a Bigfoot, and the hunters were on Bigfoot sightings. Now you've got people, like they were going out hunting for deer or elk or whatever, and reporting seeing a Bigfoot. Now you've got people going out just looking for Bigfoot.
Oh, put a pin in 67, because that's where the cultural phenomenon really began.
That's exploded.
That is the... When we're looking for a baseline or a pinpoint as to where it started,
that's it.
1967 is it.
That's like say going back to the Beatles video you referenced, our first ever video. That's
where's that Roger? Is that up there somewhere?
No, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Because we referenced it earlier, and you can't have it twice in one video, as I found out.
Is that a rule?
Yeah. Well, he put the same video twice in one video.
The fuck a duck.
I found out last week.
He just edited, not me. So.
But yeah, if go back to the Paul McCartney video, our first ever episode. This video footage is the college campus newspaper, like mentioned earlier. That college campus paper came out, and then it went everywhere and exploded. And this state became a cultural phenomenon, a national phenomenon. This video footage came out. Every forest up and down the Pacific Northwest now had Bigfoot hunters.
You're right.
And, not even just people going out looking for it, but professional Bigfoot hunters. were going out and giving tours and like trying to go, let's go out. I know these woods. I'm an expert in these woods. I'm going to be your Bigfoot guy. Let's go find one. You know.
Yeah.
It gave birth to an industry.
I mean, let's be honest. If I say to you, I'm going to go out and find one of the most elusive creatures I could possibly find, then a few hours later going, I found it!
Well, fucking hell, well done, looking there, well done.
Exactly. It smells a bit. Which is an anti-text.
That's the thing. I'd have believed the footage more if it was just, why were you filming there? I was looking to buy some land, but my partner, I'm in Colorado looking to buy this land, and my business partner's in Nevada. So I was just taking some footage of the land at the cliff because we were going to do some mining and stuff. So I'm going to send the video footage over him so he could see the land. And I just caught Bigfoot. Like, fucking hell, that sounds legit. But I'm going to go out and find Bigfoot today. Go back, found him. Fucking hell, alright, people have been searching for hundreds of years for him. And
it's like me going out now going, Badger, I'm going to go in the woods over the road, I'm going to go find a unicorn back in an hour.
It's like, you know, I'm a bit skinned. I'm going to take a walk around a couple of streets, find a winning lottery ticket. Go back and I'm like, found it! It's got all 6 numbers this weekend. Woohoo! You know, it's
pretty much the same thing.
You know, if he were buying some land, his business partner's in Nevada and he's just filming the because it's like rocky hillside, isn't it?
I understand.
Because it's like a gully, it's like a rocky hillside and he walks through this like gully into the trees. So it's like, like you were buying that for mining or development or whatever. So you're just filming the land. And you're going to send that video to your mate in Nevada who's your business partner going, yeah, that's right what we're after, we'll invest in that. And you kind of go, like, just put on like, oh, fuck, that's a fucking Bigfoot, fucking go. Like, yeah, I'd believe that. That's a legit story.
Well, don't say that just now.
No, but I'm saying that, I say that's more believable.
Oh, I was going to say, because there's actual footage of that next.
But it's more believable than someone going, I'm about to go find Bigfoot. Found him, here's the tape. Well, wasn't that fucking lucky, pal? Lucky you left when you did, you know.
With a camcorder.
Yeah.
You set the camcorder in the perfect place, and not only did you set it in the perfect place, but that big bastard looked back and went, how you doing? You know what?
You know what I mean? It's like those things like, you see the like the Russian dash cam footage of the meteor coming down.
Oh, yeah, it's brilliant.
Like, it's fucking brilliant, that's amazing, like, fucker. But then you can imagine going like, right, I must go drive down motorway and get some footage of a meteor, right? Oh, what? I got it! Woo! You know, you're gonna go, you doctored that fucking video, aren't you, dickhead?
No, honestly, I didn't promise.
Anyway,
I'm going to 1994 now, buddy.
Right, what's in 94? What happened then?
And again, the jump is specifically, my thought process now is, we've had video footage, and I'm looking for video footage. We've gone from me telling you stories to
footprints to video footage.
First-hand accounts.
So you're going on evidential reports, not sightings.
I'm trying to find now footage that has a vein of truth
or evidence to it. Yeah.
Which is discussed and continued.
Yeah.
So this timeline will not include anything for the last 27 years between. So if you might have loads of stuff, you guys on screen, you go, "Wow, the fuck did you not talk about this and this and this?" This is my reason I went for video footage. So I've gone from 67 to 1994, and it's called the Freeman Video. And it's shot by Paul Freeman in Washington. Well, anybody who's ever seen this video.
I don't clear it for people in the UK, I'm just saying that's Washington State. Because Washington State and Washington DC are two different things.
Southeastern Washington, so I'm sure.
That'd be Washington State, yeah. Because Washington State is quite rural and mountainous, but Washington DC is the capital of America and quite metropolitan. So yeah, so I just want to make that for UK viewers.
So I'm just gonna, you guys will see this, but that is the video quality we got.
That's not your printer?
No, that is the video quality. The genuine video quality.
That's fucking shocking.
Exactly. So, just so we can discuss this, pause the video, go have a look on YouTube, and just look for the Paul Freeman 1994 video, and you will see the picture I just showed Badger looks like someone's Ringo Starr's got his hands out.
Ringo Starr.
It looks like he's done that and drawn it himself. It's awful clarity. Very terrible.
To me, that looked like you downloaded a really shit low-res picture and then your shitty printer printed it out, kind of, you know what I mean?
Excuse me, I've got a decent laser printer at home.
Yeah, I know, but that looks like you've got a shitty printer trying to print out a low res.
That is a quality.
It looks like a fucking, actually, it looks, do you know what it looks like there? It looks like a fucking...
Looks like Balka from fucking Street Fighter.
No, to me, it looks like fucking Predator scene, Arnie. Woods. Look, it's all thermal image trees and shit. Predator's looking at Arnie, you woods.
But, so...
Arnie's covered in mud, isn't it?
But the Freeman video became another one of those things like, this is evidence of Bigfoot. It became this big...
Well, I suppose only the second time ever catch him on video.
I don't know if it's the second time ever, but this specifically shows this one because it became a big thing again. Got people talking about it, and people started going, well, look at this video, we've got Bigfoot in the woods, and Paul Freeman supposedly captured it by accident, even though there's another one who went, I'm a Bigfoot hunter. Right. But it's so inconclusive, it's so far away, there's no clarity whatsoever, and this genuinely could be a man in a suit. It's so far away, and even for 1994 standards, the clarity is terrible. For the video footage that could be available,
It's one of them that it looks so bad because it's bad on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so bad because they're covering shit up. Yeah.
Yeah, it is such terrible video footage, quality-wise, that it doesn't even match the technology of the day.
Yeah.
So even a Super 8 camera would have fucking picked up better footage.
Better than that.
Yeah, exactly. He'd, similar to Patterson though, he was he spent loads of money on searching for Bigfoot, and he was a publicity seeker. So it wasn't like I've just gone in the woods and gone, shit, pull my iPhone out and go, look at this crazy stuff.
This is the thing I found, and again, like I said, half my notes have just fucking vanished for some reason. But one of the things I found in my research was a lot of big sightings that happened, so where they've found hair or they've found footprints, always happened in a kind of a Bigfoot hunting park, where they did Bigfoot hunting parties and stuff like that. Where Bigfoot was a tourist thing.
Keep people coming.
Right?
Of course.
And the attendance was dropping on the park, and then they find a footprint, and attendance goes through the roof, and then 20 years later, attendance drops. They found some hair, it goes through the roof again.
Hold on. Are you being a cynical Yorkshireman again?
Yep.
Good lad!
Because the evidence points to that. Every one of these Bigfoot top parks that has like a tourist Bigfoot thing has found evidence of Bigfoot as numbers were dropping. So like hunters have gone there for 10 years, no one's seen any sight of Bigfoot in 10 years. Oh, we found the footprints, and the hunters come flocking back again. 10 years later, no one's found it, no one's seen any sight or heard of Bigfoot, and their touring is dropping off again. Oh, we found some hair! And suddenly, but the hunters are back again, and they...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I've never seen the evidence of that, but it makes perfect sense.
It's not evidence as such, I think evidence is the wrong word, I'd say a correlation.
Yeah, okay.
A correlation between stories and sightings, there's a correlation that whenever these stories and sightings happen, there's some kind of Bigfoot tourist thing for hunters, their attendance has been dropping off. And then lo and behold, a gift from the gods.
I personally don't want to give Paul Freeman any more time,
No.
because for me, he's a publicity hunter. He's got this history of sort of a bit of manufactured evidence, being very fucking polite there. It's created a video that's so far away and so grainy
that you can't even discuss it.
No, it could be a bear, it could be a man in a suit, it could be
a million things.
It could be the wild man from 1975, whatever. But I don't think he deserves more attention. If you want,
fuck him, we're gone.
Go watch his video though, and see for yourself.
No time for bullshit artists on this. Let's carry on.
Okay. So Badger, 1995 now. Only a year later.
So it's only a year later. So they're coming thick and fast now.
So starting.
Is this because technology's advanced, so more people have got camcorders, or more people have got?
I think they became more affordable. If you look
more
at
people are looking.
I don't know if it's looking, but what I would say is, think about the first real spate of UFO sightings. The big video footage is early 90s.
I'd say late 80s, mid 90s.
Yeah. So
mid 90s really took off, but yeah, people have got video
we've
cameras.
we've got this period of where this special tech, we take it for granted now, but this special tech where you can video record in your own home became more affordable. Right. Can I show you? Right. You saw that footage of Paul.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not footage on my fucking printer.
No.
That's the footage. I'm going to show you the next footage, for which we're discussing now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is supposedly Bigfoot evidence.
Right.
And I want the video to record your face as you would see
Okay, go
the
on.
next incredible footage.
The fuck is that?
Exactly. You can literally make.
That's a cloud. That's going to take a photo of sky.
It's literally the.
Is these two photos next to each other?
So maybe this isn't the best photo, but this is supposedly a rendering of what Bigfoot would look like if it was a real Bigfoot. I think the print is probably not picked up the white enough.
I can see the face there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
outline of the
yeah.
body, and the legs are really visible. So what's this side here?
Well, supposedly, on this video. Well, let me explain what it is first.
Right.
It's called the 1995 Redwoods footage in Del Norte County.
Right.
And supposedly, go look on YouTube again. Anything that's spit out, I'll say it again. It's the 1995 Redwoods footage from Del Norte County.
Norte
Yes.
County.
Yes. And it was a film crew working with Playboy playmate Anna Marie Goddard. And she was a 1994 issue, by the way.
January 94, if you want to go look it up.
Specifically in my notes, I don't know.
We know what Craig will research in this week.
Anyway, but they took this video footage. It's fucking terrible footage. Basically, go on.
You said you've still not explained what that is on the right hand side of that picture.
Well, sorry.
The picture of the clouds.
It's not. Well, they caught this on their. Basically, they started recording this while they were driving. A Yeti walking across the road.
A Bigfoot.
A Bigfoot walking across. Sasquatch, Bigfoot, big hairy bastard.
Told you I wasn't there. 95, I might be. No, I won't. I'm not being to America.
There's some enhanced footage where supposedly you can see Bigfoot's dick. So
Right.
it's a male. Anyway, but okay. So there was a film crew working with Anna Marie Goddard, and they were fuck knows what they were filming, but they all got a bit pissed. They were doing some filming. They got a bit pissed.
Like an after party,
Yeah.
rap party, something.
Yeah. And then they proclaimed to a scene, Bigfoot. Got it right. And they said, "Well, fucking hell, start filming." But they were filming for Adventure Televisions, where they were shooting an episode in 1995 near the forest. And after they finished filming, the crew were breaking down the equipment. 5 of them were relaxing and driving by through the redwoods. And music was all turned up, they were pissing around. And then they saw this fucking thing walk across the camera. And they turned the camera on, it's like, what the fuck is this? But the problem is, honestly, you got at home, go and watch the video. People have stilled it and gone, look at the muscles, look at the size.
Yeah, like we had with this 67 footage.
So they've gone down that, if this was real, look at the fucking size of this thing. And people have also suggested, these guys weren't ready to capture this. They were fucking pissed, having a party, having a good time. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, whip the camera out. It could easily be a staged event. But
I mean, the part where they say like, oh, breaking down while others were driving. I've done that. Where we've been filming one job, and you have to film the next job, but it takes you, by the time you take the tripod down and the camera down, take the batteries out, change them, and everything else you need to do to set for the next job, that's like an hour worth of work. So you just put everything back of a van and start driving an hour to your next job, and I'm back at the van, taking the camera down, taking the card out, put the card in there, transfer the data, take that battery on charge, switch battery back in. So when we get back out of the van, I get into the van with a camera on a tripod, and I get out of the van an hour later with a camera on a tripod that's ready to go for a full film.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you break down in the back of a van on your way, it just saves time.
Yeah.
So, if you're breaking down, like, oh, what the fuck's that? Oh, shit, right, I've got that, yeah, I can get it as quick as you can. Plausible, yeah.
But the footage, just, clearly you've not seen this footage. So
No, but I've filmed out of a moving car. Most cameras, any camera, from the 90s onwards, have a zoom slide on the top.
It's night time. Is the issue. It's dark.
Yeah, you're going to film fuck all at night. You're not going to get
it. It's not like it was fucking 2 in the afternoon where we're having a party. This was a finished filming. It's night time, having a drink. Not the driver. Clearly, you weren't driving. And the fucking wow, shit, what's that? Whoa! Really excited, really happy. And they've had some interviews where
try to get summer.
Yeah, and it's dark, but still, if you watch the video footage yourself. In fact, do you know what, guys? When Badger puts this video up,
I'll put the link in the description.
I'll link them because you won't know where they are.
Yeah, you'll link them in the comments.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the comments. So Badger does the editing, you're not off disclosure. He does the editing, and then but I'll link all the video footage. Yeah. You'll see this video, and it's fucking terrible footage. It literally could be a teddy bear. It could be anything. It's so poor that it's not evidence of anything.
And when you go like, oh, this could be a teddy bear on a fucking in a dark room, and you swing it by the way that it looks, and you go, well, yeah, it's a professional film crew. They probably got the skills to do that.
Again, I don't know how 95 cameras work for night vision, but
no, but if you're going to fake it in a dark room,
oh, they could easily.
You've got a professional film crew.
Yeah, of course, yeah. If you want to make a racket, you absolutely could. Without doubt.
But I don't want to talk. I'm looking at those 2 pictures there. Oh, it's fucking shit. That's not even worth talking about. Let's move along.
It's really bad. The next one's not as bad, but it's still fucking terrible. So you can see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the next one we're going to put up is 1996. It's called the Memorial Day footage, and literally it's a description of a Bigfoot running across a hill. But that could be a ninja in his outfit running across the hill. I mean, this probably doesn't do it justice.
Joe, look at that quality of that picture. I expect that to be one of those pictures from like Opportunity or Curiosity on Mars, where the shadows fall off at rocks and someone someone running on Mars. That could quite easily be the same picture.
I mean, I've watched a video, and that's the zooming. That's the zoomed thing. So when you watch it without being zoomed, and you see, again, a silhouette basically running across the hill. If you look at the silhouette against the hill, it looks quite big, but it's so far away that it's impossible to say that's a Yeti, a Bigfoot, or whatever you want to call it, a big fucking bastard, big hairy bastard. It's difficult to tell what it is. And again, I'll put the video footage and you guys can have a look, but this is, I think we're getting, if you've noticed the theme so far, the video footages that we've been given are terrible angles, terrible grains, terrible footage, and it could be excused as being many misidentified animals. There's fucking bears all over the place in most of these, and they're still on both legs.
I just find it funny that the best footage you can show me from 67 to 96 is 67.
Yes.
that's hilarious.
To this point, yeah.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree.
For this 96, footage has got considerably worse.
Well, the next one's not as bad.
Well, not from 96 to 67, what you've shown so far, 67 is the best footage.
This one makes me laugh the most.
Go on.
So, in 1996, there's something called the Snowwalker footage.
Right.
Where not all of the community, but there's a big part of the Bigfoot community go, well, this is clear and obvious footage of a Bigfoot in Scandinavia running through the snow.
Right, so we're going outside of the Bigfoot phenomenon now, because we're going into global bipedal, so like Yeti in Asia, it's something else in Russia,
Yeah.
something else in Scandinavia, but these sightings are worldwide.
Yeah.
Whereas, I kind of want to discount this because today's episode is about North American Bigfoot.
It loops back.
But go on. Okay, go on then.
So, this is why it loops back, and this is why it's included. However, so we've got this Bigfoot running through the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, it's revered to an extent.
Alright.
The problem we have is, when I've looked at this even further, is actually this was created.
I would say, my first thought before you carry on, looking at that picture, that looks like a man in a ghillie suit.
And you're not wrong.
Is that what it is?
Ultimately, it was created by a Scandinavian TV channel for something called Paranormal Borderline. The producer of the TV show Paranormal Borderline created the video for the show, and it's claimed to be a hoax, and that it was filmed in Canada, which is why we look back around.
I look back around to Sasquatch.
Yeah,
fair enough.
So people go, whoa, look at this fucking footage, but realistically, it was created for a paranormal show.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that, it looks like a man in a ghillie suit. And for those who don't know what ghillie suit is, that's kind of the, like netting with camel off of it.
Yeah.
Like, so you look like a bush and like snipers and marines and shit where that looks, when you look at it, it hangs in a certain way. And
it looks like
when
fur.
you wear it, yeah. But also, like, I know it looks like fur and stuff, but even the way it drapes off the human body, it hangs in a certain way.
Yeah.
That looks like it's exactly how a ghillie suit hangs.
It looks like a skinned cat stuck on a ghillie suit, basically. But I don't want to give this any more credence.
No.
That's straight away. Then in 2000, there was, again, I'll put the link in. The Marble Mountain footage shows a Sasquatch walking down a ridgeline, 700. So I didn't even put a picture in here. It's so bad.
Right, it's so bad it don't get a picture.
It's worse than that.
Fuck off, right?
So, and it's so bad. I don't even know what people call it. Call it a Bigfoot video.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's down the ridgeline, 750 yards away. It could be a silhouette of anything. It just looks like a shadow on top of the hill. A tall shadow.
Yeah.
But it could be anything. It could literally be anything. And again, you guys can make up your own mind when I put this in the comment, but it's not. It's terrible.
Right.
I don't want to give this any more credence.
Okay.
The next one.
You give me note to talk about on it. You've just gone, this is shit terrible. I don't know why I included it. Let's move along.
It's important because the Bigfoot community sees this as evidence.
But yeah, we're not even giving it the time today.
I am not even going to give it any more breath.
Right, next.
The next one is, I don't even know why this is classed as Bigfoot. But
yeah, I'm looking at the photo you've got there.
So it's called the Mayaka skunk ape.
Right.
And in 2000, it was supposedly we took a photo of Bigfoot. It's a fucking ape, right? I don't even know why this is classed as evidence. It looks like an orangutan.
Yeah, I mean, could be an orangutan. My first thought were a hyena.
No, there's a big body there, big hairy.
Oh, no, I can't see the body, I've seen the
yeah.
face there, right? But first thought it was like a hyena, and the second thought, what? You ever taken a picture of your dog at night?
I just see the fucking eyes and teeth.
You just see the like green eyes and the teeth, and he's like, "What the fuck is that monster?"
That's Ghostbusters all over.
Yeah, no, and it's just my cute little fucking dog. I took a picture of him in woods at night. You know, again, it's just really shit. Like, still the best footage we've got is 1967.
It's not good footage we've had that I've been able to find. I know, I'm sure the Bigfoot community who are watching this, and I'm sure there's a community of you guys who are going to fucking look at this evidence, look at this and this. Great, please do, because I'd love to be given shitload. We've always agreed, have we not?
Yeah.
Unless it's Mandela effect. If you give us...
Yeah, Mandela effect is different because it's personal, but if you can give me factual, empirical, quantifiable evidence, I'll change my fucking mind like that.
As long as it's provable.
Yeah, it's provable, yeah. Done. Well, that's it, but provable, kind of, quantifiable, empirical evidence is provable.
Okay, get scientific on my ass.
But yeah, if you give me quantifiable, empirical evidence, I will change my fucking opinion, because my opinion is based on the knowledge I have.
Yeah.
You can give me knowledge I don't have, and that changes my opinion. My opinion's not fucking sacred. My opinion is based on knowledge I have. You give me new knowledge, I now have a new opinion.
Feed the badger.
You know what I mean? That's it. Like, it's not difficult to understand.
So, I didn't even give a thought of the next one.
Right.
So I've only got 2 more.
Right.
But in fact, is it 2? Maybe 3. And then we're going to get onto something different. So my timeline is over near enough now.
Yeah, we're on them.
In 2005, it's called 3 Silver Star Mountain Photos, which is basically, you see, it's called the Yeti, but it's a Bigfoot walking over this snowy mountain range.
Right.
There's 3 photos taken from behind. Now, it looks like a hairy beast.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean anything. The issue is, as the same as all these photos, is there's 3 photos taken, and when you review them, you still don't even know what you're looking at. So
this is a case of the photo is like you're being told what you're seeing.
Yeah, but if you weren't told it was a Bigfoot, you'd be like, I'm not even sure. I mean, it's a silhouette of something big, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks big based upon but again, perception is different because
Yeah.
a photo, you can't gain perception from a photo.
You don't really have depth in a photo.
It's literally the outline of a hill and someone stood on top of it. So it could be a really close zoom and it's someone very, very small.
Yeah.
But we don't know because we're not there. The perception is really difficult because you don't have like a fucking tower next to it where you can go,
Oh, there's scale.
yeah. There's something at scale again. There isn't that at all. There's no scale at all. So you're using your own imagination
to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, of course.
The narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Now these 3 photos are genuine photos. They are photos. Whatever he was photoing was there in the photo, but
Could have been a hiker.
Honestly, it's really tough to say it was anything other than a silhouette of a big person.
Yeah.
And again, all these things.
Let's move on because these are getting more. You're not giving any proof of these. These are getting more and more shit as evidence.
But this is the problem. But it's important to talk about because people will call us out if we don't talk about them. You know, this is the problem. We've got 2 more. In 2010, we got what we call the Pennsylvania White Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the issue. Look at the fucking picture, right? So it's in the dark. It was a nighttime photo, video footage, and it could very easily be fake. It's such an easy thing to fake if you wanted to fake it. So I'm not saying it is fake, but this is the issue we have with lots of this video footage is, if I could fake it, if we could replicate it without being...
I could fake it better than this evidence.
But it's purposefully not good.
That's the point, isn't it? That's what makes it definitely fake for me, because you're purposely making it bad to cause doubt.
So I've always... again, the way my mind thinks and the way I think of things is, if you said to me, could I replicate this with human tech, with the things I know, with the same environment and the things that I could get myself?
Fucking million times yes.
No, but you're saying if I could do it, it casts doubt straight away.
Yeah.
So, and it's a case of, well, okay, I'm not saying you're a liar, but I could replicate that with very basic tools.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I could do that with very basic tools, the evidence, the legitimacy of evidence is on you to prove that's right, because I can replicate that.
Yeah.
And all of these I've seen so far, I could say, with the right tools, I could replicate all of this.
I could replicate better footage of a Bigfoot sighting. That'd be really good, clear footage that you'd still cause more doubt than these would.
And I think we've already got that, because I'm pretty sure that your missus has got photos of you in the nude, in the bed.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's like, fucking Yeti exists!
You've only seen this page, you've not seen what's under here.
My eyes, unfortunately, Badger, and I'm going to go personal here, if you don't mind, you know what I'm going to talk about, right? Once a year, there was a picture of where you tried to impress your good lady.
No. I've been with my missus for about a month, and
My eyes!
she'd not told any of her friends about me, so I posted a picture on Facebook to introduce myself to her friends, which is me in my hat, just saluting, wearing her knickers. Pants for you Americans.
And he posts it once a year, and I get the same reaction.
I put it up on I posted up, it's obviously because on my timeline, so I put it on Facebook. And my friends were just like, there's not enough bleach in the world, my eyes, my eyes. So now, every year it's just become a tradition now, like, it's that time of year again, guys, it's the photo.
If you look through the last 4 years, I think I put the same post. My eyes! Where's the bleach?
Yeah, that photo exists.
And that photo is more evidence of Yeti than what we've got here.
Yeah, it is, absolutely is.
I want to go to the last one.
Go on. So I'll be honest, I'm getting bored of these. And I'm sure it's coming in the video, because none of these is getting less and less evidence with everyone you're stating.
Now, this one is different.
Okay.
And
I'm going to call you out on this bullshit in a minute if it's not. So, come on.
Because it wasn't you or me with a video camera.
Yeah.
This was a scientific community watching eagles hatch.
Okay, so this has some legitimacy. Alright then, that's got my ears pricked up.
And basically, in 2000, I think it was 2014, make sure I got the right date. I think it was that one. So, basically, what's happened is, I've only got the first line now, I've not got the evidence, but I will find it and put it in the video. We had a video of all these hatchlings of eagles, basically, hatching for the first time.
So similar to Leeds University have a Twitter account.
Yeah.
Where some peregrine falcons about 5 years ago nested in one of the alcoves in the Parkinson building. So they put a camera up just to watch it, so they can get footage of peregrine falcons hatching and brooding and stuff like that. And then the next year they returned, so they switched cameras back on. So, and they've been returning for the last 10 years, I think. So now they've built like a nesting perch.
Yeah.
And they come back every year, and then you can go onto their website and just watch the camera 24/7 and see these chick hatches and stuff. So it's kind of a similar thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They were doing.
Yeah. So they're watching these eagles hatch, and the camera's on the nest, and there's a couple of ways this could go. But what you see is whilst it's focusing directly on the nest, in the top right hand corner of the screen, which is facing down the floor, you see this massive, big hairy body here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just move around. It's like looks like it's foraging in the woods. It's like it's having a good look around. It's not looking at the camera like, oh, look at me, I'm famous. It's like it's just doing its shit. It's a good 30 seconds to a minute just sat there before it goes out of camera. And that is a different scene to anything that's ever been set before. And it's not me setting a camera up. This is science looking at birds being hatched.
Yeah, I mean, cynical Yorkshire, my first thought was going, our funding's about to get cut on this project.
I mean, exactly. The thing is, it looks like every other Bigfoot.
It's shitty, crappy footage, and
it looks just like a black silhouette.
yeah,
Right?
and it's in the car. They get one of the students out there in a suit to forage and pretend like a monkey for a bit, and then this ends just in the corner screen. Oh look, our funding's been quadrupled. We're going to get cancelled next week.
So this is in Michigan in September 2014, by the way.
Yeah, up the cynic in me straight away. It's just.
I mean, the cynic in me said the same thing, but it was a different setup for the first time.
Yeah, it's the first time. It's not a Bigfoot hunter going out there looking for it. We accidentally caught this, which legit sounds legit.
I can't debunk it.
Can't debunk it, but the cynical Yorkshireman in me just goes, oh well, can we look at when your funding were about to run out, and did your funding get increased after this footage?
I'll tell you the reason why. Well, I've got a thought, but people fall into this pothole constantly, and I'm sick of having to have been berated for this discussion point. Is just because I can't disprove something doesn't mean it's evidence.
No, it doesn't. No.
And that's the difference. I'm sick of having this conversation.
Well, this is the thing. That's why I switched it. This was like, I can't disprove that video.
But can you prove it? That's what it is that
but,
you're looking at.
But can you show me when your funding was going to run out, and if you got new funding after this video? If your funding was about to run out in a month, and suddenly your funding's going to fourfold. There's my evidence that that's fake.
No,
well, it's not fake, but that gives credence to my disbelief.
So,
that gives me a motive for faking it.
Yeah, maybe. But I can even go down to things if they didn't fake. Let's just say they didn't fake anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a thought. There's still a thought process to happen. That okay, we saw what we saw on camera. Okay, you haven't faked it, and you could say to me wholeheartedly, prove to me you did no fakery. It's a legitimate footage. Now, I
still doesn't say what we're seeing is Bigfoot.
This is the issue. I see the silhouette of something big and hairy, right? So let's get to this point. Let's say it's not a bear.
Mm-hmm.
It's not any of the common things in the local woods that we know of.
Right.
We've never found evidence of a man in a suit.
Yeah.
Okay. We've never seen any of that at all, and we can't explain what we think we saw. Right.
Okay.
We've done all the evidence streams and gone. I don't know what I think I've seen.
That doesn't mean it's Bigfoot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It means it's something I can't explain.
But what leap do you have to take to say that's Bigfoot? Something you can't prove. This is the logical fallacy that people go.
Well, this is where people go. I've got evidence of Bigfoot. Well, where's your evidence? I've got this video footage. That's not evidence of Bigfoot because I can argue, I can disprove it. I can argue it's a guy in a suit. I can argue this. You can interpret video and photos in so many different ways. Right? The only evidence of Bigfoot to prove Bigfoot exists is when we get DNA samples or a fucking like Bigfoot or a dead Bigfoot or physical evidence, not documented evidence, a sighting, a photo, or a video, because there's going to be doubt and dispersions we can cast out and discuss. Physical evidence. Here's a dead Bigfoot. Here's some Bigfoot hair. Here's some Bigfoot shit. Here's a Bigfoot footprint.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we can.
Not the
footprint. I'll discount the footprint, but shit.
Biological evidence.
Biological evidence. Physical evidence, as in here's a live Bigfoot. Here's a dead Bigfoot.
It says hello.
You know.
So I am sick of these logical fallacies that I have to go down with people, and I have them.
You can't disprove this video, therefore it's real. Alright, that's not how evidence works, right?
Flip it.
No, that's not how evidence
Go
works.
to court with that and see what they say.
Yeah. Evidence works is, you give me this video and you go, this is video of Bigfoot. The burden of proof is on you.
Yes.
The burden of proof is not on me to go, oh, I got a video, I got a video of Bigfoot. You've got to prove it's not real now. No. You're the one making the claim that that's Bigfoot. The burden of proof is on you to prove that's Bigfoot. Exactly. And that video alone is not enough to do it. So if I go, I can't prove that, no, I can't disprove that, so that proves it's real, you're a fucking retard.
Exactly. And I am sick of having these conversations. Like, I'm not saying that I'm having...
That's not just Bigfoot, that works in any evidential argument on anything. If you make a claim, the burden of proof is on you.
I am not suggesting that this is the audience that would...
No, I'm not. It's just, I've had these conversations so many times.
I'll put it bluntly, I'm part of an atheist society and I'm fucking sick of having this conversation about the...
You can't prove God exists, therefore...
God exists.
You can't disprove that God doesn't exist, therefore he must exist.
Yeah.
No.
So, I am...
Absence of proof is not proof.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is the thing. So these lots of these scenarios and this particular video footages, I can't... I could probably discount everything that I know in this video footage, and I'm left with a silhouette. But it doesn't mean that silhouette's Bigfoot. It could be. I don't have an explanation. And do you know what? Sometimes I don't know is the best answer.
Yeah.
And we have to accept. I genuinely don't know. I don't need to label the answer as going, well, that must be.
I don't know. It's a scientific answer, because if you look at video footage and you go, I don't know what that is. Where was this taken? What time? What month? What day? What time? What area? What location? Right? Yeah, right. I don't know what that is, but now I know when and where it was.
Yeah.
And what time of year it was. I can now go out and know where to look to find that.
Correct.
And find out what it is. But just because I'm going, if you go, I don't know what that is. Right, well, let's put some kind of expedition together and go find out what it is. Whereas if you go, that's a Bigfoot, job done. Well, you know, you go explore, and you go, don't need to, I've got video footage, that's evidence that Bigfoot exists. Well, but I don't know, launches an investigation to go find exactly what it is. I don't know, it's a pursuit of knowledge. going, that's a Bigfoot, is denial of it being, denial of anything else.
I don't mind someone saying to me, that's Bigfoot, right? As long as I can go, here's the biological, here's the physical evidence, here's the tracking, here's the everything that we've got available.
No, right? What you were saying earlier, all we've got is that video footage.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, if you go, that's Bigfoot, you don't have to do all, that's Bigfoot. Dog. And that's a denial of knowledge.
That's not evidence of any
Right?
kind.
No, that's a denial of knowledge to preserve your belief in Bigfoot, right?
Agreed.
Whereas if you get that same footage and go, I don't know what that is. When was this footage taken? Where was it taken? What time of year was it taken? What time of day was it taken? Right, brilliant. Now I'm armed with those facts. I can go out to that location at that time of year, at that time of night, and set something up to find out what this is.
Agreed.
So if I see this footage in August and go, when was this taken? Oh, this was taken on 12th of December. Right, so whatever that is might be migratory, might hibernate in some. So, but we know on the 12th of December it's active. So we need to be searching these woods in Michigan on the 12th of December.
Because it's active.
Like a week before and a week after. We know we now have a time frame. We've got facts, actual facts of when this happened and when it occurs. Now we need to go get better evidence of it. So I don't know. The answer of I don't know launches an investigation to more knowledge.
I don't know.
The answer of that's Bigfoot blocks any further investigation of knowledge.
And without proof.
Yeah, it's just denial of knowledge. It's denial of proof so that your belief can be preserved. I don't know is the best answer ever, because when you go, I don't know, and you admit you don't know, you go find out.
Yeah. And you'll be very, very happy to know that is the end of my video evidence.
I'm fucking glad, because, no offence mate, but they got worse and worse as they went along.
But the problem is, that's the best you've got.
Right, so,
We're
we're done with evidence, done with video evidence.
And we're going to have the fun now.
Right, I'm just going to point out before I carry on. You went from 1967 to 2014 on video evidence.
Well, it's fucking awful, yeah.
And the best video evidence we've got is 1967.
And we've decided that's not evidence, but...
But that's the clearest.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's fuzzy, but the best video evidence we've got is 1967.
A guy in a suit. 1967, yeah.
Brilliant.
That I found... I mean, you put... Guys at home just...
Please, give us better. Show us better, please.
Something somewhere.
Show us something somewhere.
Do you know how bad this is getting? I'm going on the fucking liquor. Out of the bottle. I can't...
You don't want a glass, please, guys.
No,
You're just straight shotting it. Fair enough. Right, I want to go to the fun stuff now. Right? Because the problem when you're reaching something like Bigfoot is kind of what we're going at there. Like, the video evidence is we can't disprove it, but there's so much doubt about whether it's real or not.
Yeah.
And a lot of that doubt comes about because some people make claims for fame.
Mm-hmm.
Some people make claims for money. It's in all conspiracy theories. We did this when we were talking about does Saddam have a Stargate? Ping.
He'll deny me then. Ping.
I have the power. I am the editor.
For now. Something might be brewing. Which means I am the editor.
I have the power. I am the editor.
That's a little sneaky peek.
But in the Saddam one, we'll talk about when we talk about does Saddam have a Stargate, we'll talk about Dr. E. Salah. And we were saying, like, you know, he had an illustrious career, he was one of the top of his field. Why would he come out with these claims, right? And then we've done others where we've just gone, where's the money in this? Has he wrote a book? Is he selling a book?
Follow the money. Yeah.
Follow the money. That's how you get right. And that's where you got a lot of this Bigfoot stuff. Is where I'm instantly debunking. I'm instantly on the defense, on the offensive. I'm instantly aggressive to any evidence. Like why are you doing this? Who are you? Why are you doing it? Like I mentioned earlier, there's a correlation between Bigfoot tourism industry attendance is dropping and a footprint being found or hair samples being found, right? And the reason I'm that way is because there's so many fucking hoaxes.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
And some of them are fucking hilarious.
Oh, go on. I like hilarity. After that shit, let's go hilarity.
I'm going to start with Tom Biscardi.
I don't know who that is, but please tell me.
He is a long-time Bigfoot enthusiast. And, just for clarity, he's the CEO of Searching for Bigfoot Incorporated.
So he doesn't have any skin in the game.
No financial investment in this whatsoever.
Completely plausible and believable. Okay.
Right? He appeared on Coast to Coast AM.
George Norrie?
The paranormal radio show on July 14, 2005.
George Norrie's pretty good, but okay.
Yeah?
Not listened since 2015 though.
Yeah, but what did George Norrie? Yeah, but George Norrie 2005, wasn't it? Yeah.
Is it 15, you say?
2005.
Oh, fucking hell.
Still, when did George Norrie?
I think he must have still... Well, it's his
I
channel.
want to go about 20, 30, yeah, anyway. He played on Coast to Coast AM, paranormal radio show on July 14, 2005, and said that, quote, he was 98% sure that his group will be able to capture a Bigfoot, which they've been tracking in the Happy Camp, California area.
Okay.
So, already we see similarities with Patterson going, I'm about to catch a Bigfoot. Oh look, I got him on video.
But he's going on national radio going, I'm putting my balls out here, I'm almost certain I'm going to catch a Bigfoot.
Yep.
Did he catch a Bigfoot?
A month later, he announced on the same radio show that he had access to a captured Bigfoot and was arranging a pay-per-view event for people to see it. He appeared on Coast to Coast AM again a few days later to announce that there was no captured Bigfoot. He blamed an unnamed woman for misleading him and went on to say that Coast to Coast's audience was gullible.
Has he been back on since?
I just love the line. I'm 98% sure I can catch a Bigfoot. I've got a live Bigfoot and I'm arranging a pay-per-view event for everyone to see it. Actually, this woman lied to me and tricked me. I actually came on and spoke to you all without any evidence. I made those claims without evidence. I'm not just going to show how fucking gullible you all are. Not my fault you're all fucking gullible. And you got tricked by this woman.
Do you know what I could think of then? Was a Jesus parable where he goes, I am the Son of God. I'm 98% sure I am. I think I'm God. God, yeah, I am. You 12, I am the Son of God. On the cross going,
Lads, that 2% might be true.
I don't think this is actually what. You gullible bastards!
You're not fucking gullible for believing in it. Now take me down.
Yeah. I've just lost about 20% of our viewers.
I just love it like, yeah, I mean, I know I came on your show, and said I'm going to find one, and then a month later, said I've got one. But I'm back now to say that this woman's a bitch because she lied to me and you're all fucking gullible for believing her. Not you that believed her and went on radio and announced it all with no fucking evidence of it.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
That's not even the best
please tell me you've got more.
Oh, it gets better. Rick Dyer. Good old Rick Dyer.
Feed me.
On July 9, 2008, Rick Dyer and Matthew Whitten posted a video to YouTube claiming that they had discovered the body of a dead Sasquatch in the forest in northern Georgia.
Oh, wonderful evidence.
Amazing evidence. That blows
Done.
any fucking... Done. Like I was saying earlier, show me a live one, a dead one. Show me hair or feces, something, but show me a dead or a live... That's done. That's what we've done. Fucking believe, right? So, just jumping back a bit, you know the whole, I'm 98% sure I'll catch a Bigfoot and all that, yeah, and that was Tom Biscardi, yeah? Rick Dyer and Matthew Whitten posted a video claiming they discovered the body of a dead Sasquatch in northern forest in northern Georgia. Tom Biscardi was contacted to investigate.
Dude, do you know that shit you went through before? Well, we're going to hang you out again.
You know that shit you did in 2005? Do you want to come do this 3 years later?
Pay-per-view event.
These guys are good. Who's fucking gullible? Come on. Right?
Make some cash off him.
And they did.
Oh, did they?
Right, fuck off, right? Dyer and Witten received $50,000 from searching for Bigfoot Inc.
Fucking hell.
Don't forget, Tom Biscardi is the CEO of Searching for Bigfoot Inc. He paid them $50,000, right, for exclusive rights to this dead Bigfoot. The story was covered by many major news networks, including BBC, CNN, ABC News, and Fox News.
News channels of truth.
Yeah. Soon after a press conference, the alleged Bigfoot body was delivered in a block of ice in a freezer with the Searching for Bigfoot team.
Is
They
it
paid
raccoon?
50 grand.
For a raccoon or something.
They paid 50 grand for it. Right, these guys have claimed they've got a dead Bigfoot. Tom Biscardi has paid 50 grand for exclusive rights to it. It's gone on international news. And the Bigfoot body was delivered in a block of ice in a freezer to the Searching for Bigfoot team. What do you think was in the ice?
A bear. A rat, a raccoon. What the fuck?
I would have sold Tom Biscardi at Bigfoot because he paid 50 grand for this, don't forget.
Is it nothing?
And he went on international news to tell everyone he's got a dead Bigfoot. When the contents were thawed, observers found that the hair was not real, the head was hollow, and the feet were rubber.
Poor Bigfoot.
Dyer and Witten admitted there was a hoax after being confronted by Steve Coles, executive director of SquatchDetective.com. They put some fake hair, a hollow head, and some rubber feet in a block of ice and sold it for 50 grand.
Here's a mannequin with a woolly jumper.
This isn't even fucking trying and they got 50 grand for it.
They'd have to pay it back.
No!
Badger.
Let's make a Bigfoot!
Quickly. Let's make a Bigfoot. I'm sure I can get your beard hair and fucking stick it on something.
They just get better and better. In August 2012...
You get better than that.
In August 2012, a man in Montana was killed by a car while perpetrating a Bigfoot hoax using a ghillie suit.
For fuck's sake.
It was basically... You know when I say that Scandinavian where it looks like a man in a ghillie suit? This man in Montana put a ghillie suit on and his mates like in the trees down the road. And the idea was like, oh, he's going to walk out of those trees, over the road into those trees, and it's clear background, so we'll get a Bigfoot and we'll sell it for thousands because fucking Rick Dyer got 50 grand for his shit, you know? We'll film this and sell it to the... And as he filmed it, he comes out of the trees and his mate's filming it and the car just fucking hits him.
I'm Badger's laughing. Get in the car, do you think it was like Harry and the Hendersons went, I'm just running over a Bigfoot, I'm just running
Fuck, I'm going! He didn't stop to take him home, he just fucked off.
Stick him up roof on
Right. So, in 2008, Rick Dyer sold that fucking block of shit to Tom Biscardi, didn't he?
What are you doing to me, Badger?
In January 2014, Rick Dyer
There's a theme!
said that he killed a Bigfoot creature in September 2012 outside San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
This is the guy who created the last doctor, you don't really believe him, do you?
Yeah, mannequin with a jumper, yeah.
He said that he had scientific tests performed on the body, from DNA tests to 3D optical scans to body scans. It's the real deal, it's Bigfoot, and Bigfoot's here. I shot it, and now I'm proving it to the world.
Excellent.
That's exactly what we want him.
Excellent. Do it.
He said that he kept the body in a hidden location, and he intended to take it on tour across North America in 2014.
Great.
Now we're seeing where the money is.
Yes.
But yeah, great. I don't care to make money out of it, shows the proof. He released photos of the body and a video showing a few individuals' reactions to seeing it, but never released any of the tests or scans. He refused to disclose the test results or to provide biological samples. He said that the DNA results were done by an undisclosed lab and could not be matched to identify any known animal. Dyer said that he would reveal the body and test on February 9, 2014 at a news conference at Washington University, but he never made the test results available. After the Phoenix tour, the Bigfoot body was taken to Houston. On March 28, 2014, Dyer admitted on his Facebook page that his Bigfoot corpse was another hoax. He had paid Chris Russell of Twisted Toy Box to manufacture the prop from latex, foam and camel hair, which he nicknamed Hank. Dyer earned approximately $60,000 from the tour of his second fake Bigfoot corpse. He said that he did kill a Bigfoot, but did not take the real body on tour for fear that it would be stolen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like the Santa Claus movie. Santa Claus fell off the roof. I put on his suit, but I didn't put on the real one just for you guys, just in case, you know, you caught me out of Santa Claus. What fucking hell, man. So basically, he showed us twice. All we need to do is get a mannequin.
In 2008, he made 50 grand on a hoax that was proven to be a hoax. And then 6 years later, because man goes, no, guys, really, honestly, believe me this time, I've got a real Bigfoot. I made 60 grand. And then went, no, I did kill Bigfoot, I'm just not taking the real body out because I thought it might be stolen.
So, I know COVID.
But we don't know where the real body is, all the test results.
I know COVID's been around, but if we take those 6 year gaps, it's due a tour now.
Yeah.
Can we go see him?
But no, he did shoot a Bigfoot, he did kill one, but he won't release the scientific tests. He's not taking the real body on tour because it'll get stolen. So that's why he's taking a prop on tour with him.
Just send me a tour. Anything. Give me his big tour and let me do some DNA testing. Fucking hell.
But this is like, I love the fact that, like, to me, this is point out the big thing here for me is not those hoaxes are hilarious and stupid, but is how gullible the Bigfoot community are.
You desperately want to see it.
This guy made 50 grand on a hoax that was a proven hoax, and then 6 years later fucking rinsed you again.
There's no lessons learned here, is there?
Yeah, this guy's gone made 50 grand and then gone, oh yeah, we're lying. Just straight up admitted he were lying. And then 6 years ago, I've caught it. This time I've caught Bigfoot, and I'm goes, alright then.
Make it rain.
No, like, you lied to us last time, but buy tickets to my show, you'll see the proof. And no, show us the proof, then I'll buy tickets. You like, I don't believe in you. No. Sold out 2 tours, 60 grand.
How's it not been done for fraud?
I don't know.
Did he write the Bible? Oh, please tell me there's more.
That's all I've got on the. They're the biggest ones that I put in. Like, they're just, to me, they just show how ridiculous these hoaxes are. Like, the video footage is ridiculous. We can say how ridiculously fake it is, but you can argue whether it is or it isn't. But it just looks shitty to me. Like, the best footage we've got is 1967. The first ever footage of a Bigfoot is the best footage of Bigfoot we've ever got. Right?
So, yeah.
And then, like, people are so desperate for this to be real that they don't bother to look into it or check it. Like, to the point a guy can make 50 grand out of it, and then 6 years later do it again.
It sounds like a wonderful investment for me. We need to think of it, actually.
And to the point that I know I shouldn't have been laughing at a man dying, but this guy's gone, he made 50 fucking grand out of that. Right, let's make a fucking 3-minute video, we'll make 50 grand out of this. And then he'll get fucking killed doing it.
It's fucking. Oh.
But it's not even that, like, people are buying into this and he's making 60 grand off his tour, right? He lied once. He goes on tour again 6 years later with Bigfoot, right? It's not even that people are buying into it. His news conferences were held at Washington University.
I mean, should that be revered? I mean, I don't know.
You know, Washington University. He took it to Houston, Texas, where it was held at another university. Like, these are establishments of establishments of higher learning.
But are they? I don't know.
The university, that's what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, but I know back 20 years ago, you could have got a degree in David Beckham.
Yeah, fair point. Alright, yeah.
So, just because it's at a uni doesn't mean it's niche. It's probably in the fucking janitor's office. Unit.
Yeah, fair point.
Just that a unit doesn't mean anything, but the fact that it still made fucking 5 figures off of it.
Oh yeah, we bought 110 grand in 6 years.
It's a pretty good investment.
I can't believe people let it back a second time.
Latex and hair.
I've got a dead Bigfoot. You fucking lie over here, mate. Fuck off. No, honestly, guys, it's for real this time. Okay then, get my wallet out.
It's like saying Peter Sutcliffe before going, you could trust me with the whore. Trust me.
Do some DIY in prison. I'll hammer the nails in, lads. Give me that hammer. It'll be alright, honest.
Oh, Andy's a frame for short. You could trust me with an axe. I promise you won't chisel away from his wall. For fuck's sake.
That's the only notes I've got left now, my closing. But,
right. Oh, I've got a few things to
so I'll let you go on more. I just want to throw them in because people go, well, oh, you're so quick to debunk the videos. Yeah, because of shit like this.
Well, I'm going to do something that you...
I'm so quick to debunk the videos, but the Bigfoot believer community is so quick to jump on a pair of fucking rubber feet in a block of ice.
Well, I'm going to throw science at you because I know how much you like that.
Oh, fucking love science. Give me the science.
I am going to give you the fucking science and you're going to like
Scientifically
it.
prove to me that Bigfoot exists.
I'm not. I'm going to do the opposite.
So, what are you going to do? You're not going to give me the science. You're going to show me the lack of science.
No, I'm going to show you the science that Bigfoot does not exist.
Right, I'm going to... yeah, okay then. Right, go on.
So the science behind it, genetic science.
Yeah, go on.
So, in 2012, the Oxford University? Yeah, the University of Oxford reached out to the world and said, send me your evidence of Bigfoot, DNA evidence.
Anything you've got.
Skin,
hair, toenails,
whatever the fuck you've got.
feces, the lot. Send us your bag of Bigfoot shit. We want it.
Yeah, send me your Bigfoot mannequin and we're going to test this fucker. Right, so I'm sure that fucking cunt sent to a mannequin, whole body, 50 grand please!
He could send it, we're worried it gets stolen.
So, basically, what happened is, and this is pretty upsetting for the Bigfoot community, I'm sorry, so they've got several locations. So you've got United States, Russia, Sumatra, Nepal, Bhutan and Ladakh in India.
Do you know how many samples they got sent? Oh.
Yeah. Good to count. 30.
30 samples, alright, so 30 samples from...
Around the world.
Yeah, India, Bhutan, Nepal, Russia,
Sumatra and USA. Pretty much.
Yeah, USA.
So,
yeah.
so several locations around the world.
Yeah.
And so, the attribution was they were given different names. So, like as an example, India calls them Yeti. America calls it Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Sumatra calls it the Orang Pedek.
Mm-hmm.
And the Russians call it the Armasty.
Yeah.
So they've got their own names.
Yeah, basically 6 to 9 foot tall, bipedal, humanoid.
Yeah.
That's not classified in any genome.
So this coincides with the sighting, and we've found the Yeti evidence. So what they found is out of these 30 samples, all 30 were actual normal animals. So as an example, in Ladakh, India, it was a polar bear. And it was
White
sampled.
fur on a tree branch. I've got some Yeti fur.
But India, I don't know how it got to India being a polar bear, but whether it's from a circus and stuff, we'll take its hair. But it was a polar bear.
Does India have mountain ranges?
Yeah, but polar bears
Polar bears at the side of the world,
in the poles.
Yeah. So basically that's someone faking it. Someone's bought some polar bear off eBay.
Yeah.
The polar bear had a feed and I found a Yeti. Well, fucking go on then, Dave. You got some Yeti, yeah? Prove it. I'll send it off. I'll prove it's a Yeti.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought this Yeti head off eBay. No, mate, you got some polar bear, yeah. Bear off eBay.
I mean, and then there's brown. So I'm gonna list the main names of what these were. So polar bear, a sirao. I don't know what sirao is. That's a fucking Google.
Where was that from? Oh, Nepal. I'm assuming that's some kind of mule or donkey ass type thing.
A brown bear, a horse, a cow, an American black bear, a raccoon, a brown bear, and the
Sorry, raccoon, because they're over 6 to 9 feet
Yeah.
tall.
It fucking got it!
You were throwing rocks at our house!
A Malaysian tapir.
Yeah, tapir's like, it's not an anteater, but it kind of looks like
Right,
an
okay.
anteater type. You know what I mean when I say anteater, you know,
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of creature, yeah.
A sheep. An American black bear, a wolf / coyote / dog. They couldn't tell the genome.
Yeah, it belongs to that family, yeah.
A fucking human.
Fucking Yeti! Is that you cutting my beard and I'm sleeping and sending it in to you from a fucking Bigfoot? That were you, yeah.
You didn't cut your beard on
Yeah, you did.
You got pissed. A cow, a mule, and again back to like coyote and dog. So all this this is genuine DNA evidence. Every single piece of evidence that could be tested that was sent to the Oxford University was proved to be something completely different.
Yeah, it's
And that was 2012. So that's not like it was too far.
it just reminds me of a line from a TV Tim Minchin song. And it goes, ever mystery, ever solved was found to be not magic. It's like every evidence of Bigfoot ever found was found to be not Bigfoot.
This is true. So biologically, we've never found any evidence so far.
No, we haven't. There's only one thing that I think it's pretty clear from all this video where I'm coming down on this one. But there's only
A true believer.
But there's only one bit that causes me doubting it.
No, do tell before we go further.
And that was, I've just seen the map you've got there, so I'm kind of jumping before you do, was watching to research this episode, I was watching our Good Friends on the History Channel.
Proof.
Yeah,
Evidence.
proof incarnate on there. Actually, no, tell a lie, I don't think it was History Channel, I think it was Nat Geo.
Even more.
Which is even more proof. But they have this series called Hunting for Bigfoot. Yeah. Right, I'm going to get into all the shit later about that, but one bit that stuck in my head where my kind of ears picked up and went, we might actually be onto something here.
Don't fucking spit, but don't swear at me.
Yeah, they might have a point. Was they correlate, and again, it's not Geo, so I don't know how much evidence they discounted to prove their point.
Okay.
Because I don't have that evidence available to me, but they put out Bigfoot sightings for the time of the year,
Right.
and it kind of shows from just inside the border of South America, going throughout the year up through North America and Canada, and then back down again.
A migration path.
Exactly. Shows a migration path for mating. And I was sat there going, you might have a point here. That makes sense. That's a primitive behavioural pattern that makes sense. We see it in birds and fish and ducks and animals.
I would say yes if.
But again, loading that with, I don't know how many sightings they discounted. They might have given this over 3,000 sightings, but discounted 6,000 sightings.
Well,
They didn't fit the narrative. You know what I mean?
Don't even need that. We don't even need that. So, if we observe, so the only way to understand the migration path is via observation.
Mm-hmm.
What have they observed? Specifically, what have they observed to say this is the migration path?
This is people reported to have seen a Bigfoot.
Okay, so they said.
So it's like going, oh, you reported seeing a Bigfoot in Mexico in January, put a pin in there. He reported seeing a Bigfoot in Colorado in March, put a pin in there. And he reported seeing a Bigfoot in the Rocky Mountains in April, put a pin in there. And he reported seeing a Bigfoot on the west coast in Pennsylvania in August, put a pin there. And he reported seeing one in Mexico in October, put a pin there. Oh look, now we've got a migratory path.
But, okay, a migration path has to be cyclical. So it has to happen.
No, but they were saying over 10 years of sightings, you can see these sightings happen. Like, so they tend to happen in Colorado between these 2 months, happen in Canada in these 2 months, happen down here in these. So they kind of put a migratory path together, which kind of made my ears pick up a bit and go, alright, if the sightings, I might not believe in the sightings and there's no evidence in the sightings to prove they're real, but if you've got a correlation of time, these sightings happen in a cluster in that time zone in these areas, that kind of shows whatever it is moving.
But I'm sure at the same time that, let's just say we're coming from, we'll go south to north, I think you were showing me south to north, north to south cycle. That
it's kind of like, I think we're south to north at the coast, then north to south.
Okay.
Down the inland. Yeah.
So what I would be like you see with migratory birds, and like you see with anything else that migrates within that period, is you would see realistically, you might see the odd scattering of maybe a migratory bird's gone a little bit early.
Yeah.
But for the vast majority of all the sightings, it would be in a very specific location, then another very specific location. You wouldn't see 50% down south, 20% in the east, 30% in the north.
No. This is what I'm saying. The way they laid it out,
You wouldn't see that.
the way they laid it out in the show was that, you see sightings of Bigfoot in January in Mexico, in April in Colorado, and August in Canada, right? That's the way they laid it out. But what I'm saying is like, yeah, if you take 3,000 sightings over 10 years, you can lay that out. But you're using 1,000 sightings in Colorado in April, but dismissing the other 6,000 sightings throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what sightings they use. I don't have access to that information. So what I'm saying is, them making that point was kind of going, ooh, that's interesting. That shows animal behaviour. That kind of ties in. But the cynical Yorkshireman is going, that's based on 3,000 sightings over the last 10 years. How many have you discounted? Can I see your data set and plan that? Can I plot that myself? But of course, I don't make that data set available.
I do not know the answer, and so I'm going to ask you, see if you know the answer. And if you don't know the answer, I'll ask people at home. All the explanations about what a Bigfoot is, hairy, large, hominid type creature. What other hominid type creatures, large mammals, migrate? There isn't one that I know of. So
why can I think of?
So these big bastards that are fucking hairy and clearly can look after themselves and hide, why do they need to go, oh, by the way, it's getting cold up there?
I mean,
it's the only temperature reasons why people migrate. Why would the fucking big hairy Bigfoot need to migrate?
I mean, two schools of thought here, which might not be related, might be related or not, I don't know. But the only things I would think of were like buffaloes and bison used to be nomadic and move until we started farming. Well, we made one extinct. Bison now we farm on ranges, but they used to be nomadic and move around with the seasons. But they used to move where the grass went. So,
I mean, migration isn't normally for mating.
Yeah, migration is normally mating, right? But the other side of that I'm going to say as well was that it's you move for mating, but maybe there's mating lands.
Do you want me to throw a party in fucking a place all go fuck and then go off in your own way?
Possibly. Look at salmon.
Yeah, but salmon's... We can't talk about fish in the ocean. We're talking about comparable mammals. Because it's pointless saying fish in the ocean. We're talking about big land mammals.
I mean, you talk about big hairy mammals moving from a hot climate to a cold climate, right?
For what purpose?
But I would say like the hair thing doesn't really hold much weight. That doesn't block me from thinking it might be a migratory path, because look at pet dogs. Right? We have regulated temperature in our homes, but your pet dog still grows a winter coat.
It's getting less though.
Yeah, but it still grows thicker hair in winter and thinner hair in summer.
But generationally, you'll be able to track that.
No, but what I'm saying is, it just 'cause it's a hairy mammal doesn't mean it's not migrating from a hot to a cold country, because it could it's winter.
But
The fur starts growing and so it goes up north and then it starts coming down. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Forget the fur. A dog doesn't go, ooh, fuck me, this is cold, I'm off down south. Its DNA is a wolf, and it just fucking deals with it. And if let's look at...
I know I'm clutching at straws, but I'm just playing devil's advocate on the point here.
I'm trying to look at the great apes, I'm trying to look at anything else, a hominid, a human, a Neanderthal, a traveller of any kind, that's anything to do with, because we have to be related somehow.
You're spoiling my fun now. Because I was trying to be, I'm throwing the migratory path, it did prick up my ears, but go, oh, that's animalistic behaviour.
No, it's a fun comment, but
I disproved it myself, I debunked it myself.
That's good, because I'm struggling to converse with you.
I was throwing it out there for a bit of fun, but I was like,
people might ask the question,
but the way I debunked it personally was, every other primate we've ever found in the wild is territorial.
But what if... Now I'm going to go the other direction.
They don't migrate, they're not nomadic, they don't move with the seasons, they're territorial. To the point where, if you look at fucking macaques or baboons or orangutans, if another orangutan comes in, they get fucking brutally murdered.
They do.
So they don't move, they're not going to move from Mexico to Canada and then come back down next year, because there'll be another fucking tribe in there. And we'd see fucking Bigfoot massacres.
Or what if the Bigfoot is so big that there's no territory to... So basically, if I was an orangutan and I had a fucking 8-foot Bigfoot walk inside and he goes, right then, I'm fucking leaving, and we go, ooh, I've got this home. It's like, shit, Bigfoot's back, we better fucking scarp her.
No, I'm not about other animals. I want about, like, not a Bigfoot. Me and you are Bigfoots. We've got a migratory path. Our fucking natural instinct kicks in. We move north to Canada and say, right, and we come back down to Mexico for the nice weather, right? Well, primates are territorial.
Yeah.
Every species of primate we've ever seen, from silverbacks down to macaques, are territorial, right? So you leave your territory. I got my territory. You've got a better piece of territory than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
We both go up north. I get back before you do. Which territory do you think I'm going in?
We can't because we don't know anything about the Bigfoot.
No, what I'm saying is, like, we know about primates. Right?
What if it's not a primate?
It's a giant ape.
We don't know that.
Why would I accept it? From the video footage and the photos and the descriptions and all the sightings, is an ape-like creature.
Or alternatively, some of the other people have discerned that it's like humans share a common ancestor with the monkey, or the great ape, effectively.
Yeah.
But I think it was chromosome 10 for humans merged.
Yeah.
And so our chromosome 10 merged. Therefore, we, from the great ape family, was like we became
split
different,
off and
completely.
kind of different evolutionary branch.
So
yeah.
that's why there's still monkeys and there's humans, because our DNA changed. We've got a common ancestor.
With mutation.
Yeah, we've got a common ancestor.
Yeah.
The argument that I've seen in some of these, biologically, is without evidence at all, is similar things happen to Bigfoot. They've got a common ancestor. Their DNA fused in a different way, so they've got like partially human, partially ape-like DNA.
Yeah, I mean, one of the arguments I've seen is that it's not a primate, but it's an evolved version of Neanderthal.
Yeah, and Neanderthal themselves weren't this fucking inability to think. They could still wield tools. They could still do.
Yeah.
They could still socialise. They could still have packs, effectively. So
if you think Neanderthal evolved, then Bigfoot could fit that description.
Potentially. I mean, I'm going to get onto that actually, but
I just found the migratory path interesting.
I just want
It's an interesting thought experiment, but kind of I debunked it myself, going, if Bigfoot is a great ape or a primate, then we have no evidence in any other primate species in the world being migratory.
Well, let's just take migration.
With all territorial. So either this migratory path is you've discounted a lot of sightings to fit your migratory path hypothesis, or if the migratory path is true, then Bigfoot is not an ape.
Oh, it's something different.
Because no apes ever, no primates ever have been migratory. They're all territorial.
But let's take a migratory path. From any other animal, any other mammal, any kind, is I would expect to see evidence of a migration. So whenever anything else does it, there's a evidence of migration from one place to another. In the scenario what you were discussing there, they're probably going to mate. We'd expect to find some form in the north, because I think that's what it said in the Gulf.
Yeah. They're going up the east coast and down to the mid. Yeah.
We'd expect to find in the north some form of evidence of mating, of birth, of a big fucking shit, something of.
Well, that's something I'm going to get to.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end probably. I'm probably jumping the gun there, but when there's ever a migration, either on foot or in the air, even with birds, there's evidence of migration. You can find it.
You can argue the evidence of migration is the sightings, and that's like the boat migratory path of the
it's
sightings.
physical evidence.
But there's no physical evidence of Bigfoot anywhere ever.
Right then, I know that you have got to the end of your notes.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna have to jump back a little bit, just a little bit, because today we've really spoke about the Yeti in the Bigfoot in a North American context.
Right.
I think it's just important just to make sure that it really is, from what we know, from what I knew when I was growing up and what you probably know, but based upon, maybe it's Hollywood, I don't know what it's based upon, but it's the sightings and the videos and all that sort of thing. It's a North American phenomenon.
I think it's one of those things like growing up, Bigfoot only existed in America. As I got older, then we learned about Chupacabra and Sasquatch and Yeti and Russia and Nepal and Philippines, all of these things, and it's like this is a global phenomenon, but I think America it's cultural phenomenon. It's stereotypical American, and it's like every other country in the world kind of has a Bigfoot myth and Bigfoot sightings, but America make it into this big fucking massive, amazing, brilliant fucking industry. Like,
you could argue in more than one way though. So let's just say America is quite densely populated. So we've got 365 million Americans, I think it is, in our census.
Yeah, but you've got a hell of a lot of fucking forest and ground. And,
I agree,
yeah.
but you look at other countries like Canada, which are nowhere near as densely populated. So it's going to be more difficult per capita to see something that might exist because you've got many. It's nowhere near.
Yeah.
In a density perspective.
Yeah. But no, it's not the number of sightings. For me, it's you get sightings all over the world, and they're just the sightings. Whereas in America, true American spirit fucking capitalised it, and you've got Bigfoot tourism, Bigfoot museums, and Bigfoot exhibitions, and
no, if it can make money, make money.
You know, can you imagine Mick Dyer going to America, going to Russia with his fucking dead Bigfoot, and they just go, I want 50 grand for it. They'll show me it. No, I want 50 grand for it. Get the fuck out of
it. They would have said, do you want to drink a Novichok?
Yeah, do you want to drink a Novichok, dickhead? Fuck off.
Exactly.
You know, but it seems like America's like capitalist, gullible, like everything's bigger over there. You know, it's like, and I'm not going to be too fucking sycophantic really, but not sycophantic, the wrong word, but it's kind of like, you know, we have a, we have a half-pounder burger, America have a 10-pound burger. We have a large Coke over here, it's 12 ounces. America is fucking half a litre. You know, it's like everything's going to be bigger and better in America. So it's like, Russia have got a large hominid sighting. China, Tibet, Nepal have them as well. no, but we got Bigfoot, he's American, he's massive, yeah, Bigfoot industry. Like, you don't see Bigfoot national parks in
true.
China. Is that a brash, capitalistic American thing that corporate way, really, I think. That's what makes it big.
Before I get to the next point, it could simply be that Western technology was ahead of certain parts of the world. So you could put a camcorder in the hands of an American before you could put the camcorder in the hands of a Chinaman, or in the hands of someone in fucking Siberia.
I don't think it's that. I think it's, you get a Bigfoot sighting in Russia, and it's like, oh, you saw a Bigfoot. Alright, no, it is. Yeah. Don't know if that exists. Not, don't find. I believe in him. I don't believe in him. But you saw a Bigfoot. Alright, great. In America, it's like, I saw a Bigfoot. Give me money.
I mean, this part of me agrees, but what I'm trying to say is, when we were talking about the difference between the 80s and 90s and the 90s, is when tech comes in your hand.
Oh, the cameras in America first, while in England, which is 10 years before they get. We don't get to that point as well. In the 90s, you've got the Cold War, you've got the Berlin Wall. So
there's a lot happening. But I'm just saying, if the people with the tech in their hands are more likely to report more and say, I've got evidence of something, or alternatively, have the ability to fake something more often than somebody else because they've got tech in their hands.
Yes.
What I want to do now, though, is you're going to have to embellish me for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have a chat, because we've very much talked. In fact, the first thing I'm going to bring up is going to massage your ego a little bit.
Go on.
But I want to talk about a couple of high-level things around the world, about what the names are and a bit of history, because it's not just American-based.
Yeah.
So, as you said before, and you got it spot on, that Canada, Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought up earlier a story about Albert Ostman. You said, that sounds very Canadian, and it specifically is. So in 1924, Canada called it Sasquatch. It's essentially the same creature as the American Bigfoot, but it's claimed to be more nocturnal and a fast runner. But that's based upon the Albert Ostman story that we heard earlier, where he was camping in British Columbia, he was kidnapped by a Bigfoot with his family, held for nearly a week, and he suspected that he'd been captured as a potential breeding mate for the young female Sasquatch of the family.
Alright.
So
I had some looks about him for the Bigfoots.
And I'm pretty sure we talked about being a fuck buddy. But but before they could do the dirty deed, he escaped. Needless to say, there was no evidence of his experience. I'll read this next paragraph and see if it works. So, the Yeti is said to be muscular, covered with dark greyish or reddish brown hair, between 200 to 400 pounds. It's relatively short compared with Bigfoot, averaging about 6 feet. But that's still high for Nepal. Sir Edmund Hillary, the first man to scale Everest, found no evidence of the creature. And mountaineer Reynold Messner, who spent months in Nepal and Tibet researching the Yeti, also found that large native bears were mistaken as Yeti sightings and tracks. So, Nepal called it the Yeti, they've got their own reasons. Mm-hmm. Australia, do you know what Australia call it?
I didn't go on.
The Yowie.
The Yowie.
So, Yowie.
But the Yowie is called that not because of a name, isn't it called that because of its mating call or the noise it makes?
It comes from Aborigine.
Alright, I thought it was kind of like it's the noise it makes, like a yowie kind of noise. It's like, alright, it's a yowie. You can hear it shouting yowie.
That sounds like the didgeridoo.
Yeah.
I need to read this now. I'm sure it was a fucking Aborigine. The yowie the wild man from down under reportedly stands from 5'11", has red eyes in a dome-shaped head. It's tan black with grey or white hair, covered in black skin, with long arms that nearly reach the ground, so it's quite long arms. According to George Abert's Encyclopedia of Mysterious Creatures, the name Yowie comes from the Aboriginal word Yui, which means dream spirit.
I found out I was wrong.
Not that you're wrong, just
yeah. I remember reading somewhere that it was called a Yowie because of it makes a Yowie noise. I think it's like, it's like calling an owl a twit-twoo.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, rather than going through an explanation, I'm just going to name lots of different places
Yeah,
to
yeah.
call it, because they've all got there's so many countries that have got experiences and name it something different. So Indonesians call it the orange padek, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
South Africans call it the water bobajan. The Japanese call it the hibagon. Nicaraguans call it the sisimic. And we've got loads. So I won't go through more, but we talked about Russia and the Armistice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for ones that I can pronounce, because some of these are fucking tough. If you're reading this list, you up here and pronounce half of them.
I love Scotland, just called the Big Grey Man. Just saw that there.
Fucking Big Grey Man!
It's a fucking Big Grey Man!
You've got the Bama in Afghanistan, the Big Grey Man in Scotland, the Sinese Yeti in China, the Grassman, Ohio call him the Grassman. I don't know what that's all about, maybe it's because of a high. We've got the Jinsung from central China, the Mawas from Malaysia.
I think the point is that this is...
Monkey Man, New Delhi. It's around the world.
Global. It's global.
Absolutely global.
But all of these, probably, because I don't know all of them, but probably I'm assuming most of them come from native tales.
Yeah.
Like we say, Bigfoot first originated. First time we had a Bigfoot in North America was from Native Americans.
Yeah.
Right? So, is this a real thing that exists? Or is this a religious thing? In that every country in the world has this giant bipedal humanoid that's secretly in the woods. Every religion in the world has a flood story. Kind of a la Noah's Ark. Is this just a native people's oral history? Like there was some kind of parable to it, like, there's the world never actually flooded, but there's a flood story to be the world will get cleansed and wiped out. In that, one of my things with reading this as natives was, does every native have a big scary man in the woods, a big scary monster in the woods that eats kids, so that the kids don't run out of the village?
I don't think it's the same. I just want to try counteract that a little bit, because I don't think they're the same conversation. So, if we're talking about a flood story, a singular moment that happened in time before people were reborn, basically God was a genocidal maniac.
Yeah.
And fucking killed
It
everything.
comes to the Christian version.
Yeah, but it's fucking...
And the Hindu version has the flood story, but it's different. God's not genocidal maniac, it's a different
Well,
thing.
yeah, I mean, but if you take the Western version,
Yeah.
this fucking genocidal maniac could be fucking got jealous and just killed all of mankind. Whereas, whatever version of the name of the Bigfoot Yeti that people want to call it, unlike the Great Flood that happened once and it's part of history which people can't prove,
Yeah.
there's still constant sightings, regardless of what we think. It's not a mythology story where it's here's a story that we'll never be able to speak about again. It's just part of a book. People are going, I think I've seen it. It's like UFOs. I think I've just seen one. I'm like,
Yeah, but this is... I'm trying to go down Occam's razor route, right? So the most simplest explanation is the most likely explanation.
generally misidentified
Right.
issues. Yeah.
Right, so we say modern day sightings, and the most simplest says is bears.
Yeah.
You see a bear standing up grabbing something off a tree, you're 100 yards away, that looks like a Bigfoot. I've seen a Bigfoot.
And for the most places, bears are in most of these places.
But I'm trying to take it back to its native beginnings.
Okay.
So the Native Americans, the Native Chinese, the Native Russians, the Native Nepalese, right? Your small tribe eking out got a little village going, surrounded by fucking hundreds of acres of jungle with deadly predators and shit in it, right? Snakes and spiders and shit like that, right? So you tell your kids, you don't go outside the village, because there's this big fucking ape man that'll comes in. If you go out there, he grabs you and eats children, right?
I don't think that's everywhere though.
Like, no, just hear me out, right?
Okay, sorry, yeah.
So, you come up with this, idea, like, there's a big scary ape now there that'll come and eat you. So it scares the kids into staying inside.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of like we have Santa Claus and just getting kids to be good, right? But if you go outside, this big scary ape man's going to eat you. That's a really simple story to tell.
Okay.
And I can see that happening in China independently as it's happening in America.
Maybe so, yeah.
As we develop and we've gone and invaded these places, English have invaded America, and we had a story of what's this, and they're like, yeah, we'll tell you this story. I had this big ape man in the woods. I'm like, ooh, fucking well, let's go find him. And that curiosity has gone on for years and years. But then as the British Empire expanded, we found China and Russia and all this lot, and they had the same tales to keep kids inside. But it's just kind of, we forgot the origin of those stories, so now we just know there's a big ape man in the woods. We've forgotten why we made it up. We've forgotten the origin of the story. Now the story is just there's an ape man in the woods. So now people who've gone out, the people who see a Bigfoot in America, are generally 90% of the time not people accidentally seeing one. 90% of the time, the people, the Bigfoot hunters, the people who want to believe there's one out there, want to go see it. So they're misidentifying. So I can see where the origin of the story came from to what it is today.
I don't think it's entirely true, but partly some of that might be true. I think partly some of the story is true, but I think.
Could you buy the idea that independently across the world, small villages made up a story with a big ape man outside to keep children from running up, because then you don't have to look after the kids.
I think in some.
Not look after, you don't have to look after the kids, but you've got stuff to do. You know, the men are out hunting, the women are weaving and crafting or whatever, right? But you can't keep out the kids all the time, so you make up a scary story so the kids don't run out the perimeter of the village.
When I'm looking at the worldwide scale of this, I'm just looking at where we've got different names around the world, and I'm looking at how, for basically until the early 1900s, really, that most of these countries were disassociated from each other based upon being in different continents.
Mm-hmm.
That they've all got a different story about their own version of Bigfoot, and in some instances you're right. That's like this.
It's like every culture has a bogeyman or a
You're right in some instances, but it's not a shared story. That's the thing.
No, what I'm saying is there's a shared basis. So like we have Santa that brings presents to good boys and girls and coal to bad boys and girls. Germany has Krampus that comes and steals bad boys and girls from the beds and
evil.
But it's the same. Well, the two vastly different characters. It's the same origin,
same control mechanism.
Same control mechanism.
But what's the control mechanism of Bigfoot then?
Just this dangerous outside the village. I've got a job to do. I can't keep my eye on you 24 hours a day. So there's a big scary ape man out there. He's going to eat you. You don't go outside the village, and it scares kids to staying inside their boundaries where you can keep an eye on them. Okay. Because you've got to go back to that time where it was fucking dangerous and hard, and you can't living off the land. You give kids a scare story to stay inside a controlled environment.
I can buy it for some instances, but not across the board. But I get what you're saying.
But I'm saying, like, every culture has a bogeyman, every culture has a Krampus or a
Santa Claus. Of course, yeah.
I can see that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's where it is now. I'm saying I can see that's where it started on all of them, as a native first people, indigenous people, being scare kids inside the village.
The problem I have though is I honestly don't know. So I know what countries call them what, but I don't know where them mythology stories are.
I'm completely making a projection now. I'm just hypothesising right now.
But I mean, there could be 300 years between stories. I mean, I guess it's possible, even though I personally think it's a bit implausible. But I suppose there's still a possibility there that happened in some way. In the same way that how Christianity took over the world from the Middle East. Actually, that would by fucking invasion, indoctrination, and murder. But fucking a 400-year war, but you can see how the word gets out, and I suppose it can spread, and then you go, well, I've got that same story. Oh shit, is that what that is? And I guess in a way it could in some ways it could be without brutality of religion, but
it's those stories passed down through time. You know, the Baba Ganoush, the Sandman, the the Bogeyman, all those stories passed down through time are kind of have a basis in control mechanisms. So I honestly think these were all, and I think now it's hard to pick it apart because now where we've got, America's got Bigfoot, and we had the abominable snowman in the 1800s, I think it was, with the British explorers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we get the 1860s, we get Bigfoot, and like they're similar. And then we go, we'll go over and go like, well, we've heard about this guy in America, this guy in thing, and in Russia they're going, oh yeah, we've got a similar story. It's based out of that original control mechanism in the tribe, but it just keeps going over generations. And going, so now it gets tied in.
It's a really interesting. It really is interesting about where either it's true across the board, but if it's not, it's really interesting how they've all got very similar sightings of a big hairy man in the woods. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you remember being kids at my granddad's house, but my granddad used to say like if we were like playing up at my granddad's and stuff, you got like that's it. If you don't stop it, Red Arse the Bandit's gonna come and get you.
I didn't get told that.
And it was like as kids we were shit scared of Red Arse the Bandit. Don't know who Red Arse the Bandit. I never found out who he was.
It's you.
But Red Arse the Bandit gonna come get us and he'd slap our ass and give us a red arse.
Stop the child abuse.
Right, but you know what I mean. But that's a similar thing to being Red Arse the Bandit's gonna get you where 200 years before Bigfoot's gonna come get you, Sasquatch is gonna come get you. Yeah, he's gonna. If you don't behave, yeah, he'll come get you. You go outside that village, yeah, he'll get you. He'll eat you up.
Again, I agree with you. In some instances, that might be true. I just don't think it's across the board. I do want to get onto a quick thought experiment now, and we're going to take it down some leaps of faith.
Right. Okay. These are always fun.
So, if Yeti's real,
Yeti or Bigfoot,
we'll say the common ancestor.
Okay. Right.
So wherever Bigfoot came from, and the Yeti came from, the Sasquatch came from, and the fucking walking salmon, the Wendigo came from, all these
Let's say they all came from one Neanderthal force. Let's say Neanderthal or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
How would that particular single source, that common ancestor, how has that been found on every continent, in different guises, on different time periods? Because
Pangea.
But Pangea is 20 million years ago. It was the fucking... Hold on. I'm sure... Have I wrote a note about when Pangea broke? I'm pretty sure Pangea was... 201 million years ago.
Yeah, but it's sort of like we found archaeological evidence that camels are indigenous to America. But they're only in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East because Pangea split and they couldn't get back over the Bering Strait or something.
Hold on, I'm just trying to think. Hold on, right. 201 million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was Jurassic, right? The Jurassic epoch, right? Because it was 200 years ago. So 200 million years ago.
65 million years ago with dinosaurs, wasn't it? So yeah.
200, so it's Jurassic. So I don't believe that a single mammal, outside of being a fucking rodent, survived.
I'm sure I read somewhere there's evidence that camels are indigenous to America. Right.
But that would have been after the Jurassic period. What we're talking
No. Right, okay, no. This forget the Jurassic period for a minute, right? When Pangea split,
yeah,
right, there was a tract of land called the Bering Strait.
that's right, yeah.
So camels were indigenous to America, but they all kind of migrated over the Bering Strait, and the Bering Strait disappeared and they couldn't get back.
Yeah.
So today's history, we've got camels are indigenous to the Middle East, but they weren't. They're actually in North America. They just walked over the Bering Strait to the Middle East and couldn't get back over. Right? So, is it not possible that, let's say, Neanderthal, for argument's sake, evolved into Bigfoot? right, in America.
Leap, yeah, okay.
Right? But before he evolved into Bigfoot, that evolutionary branch goes from Neanderthal to Bigfoot, right?
Mm.
But some tribes go over the Bering Strait and go into Russia and go into China, and the Bering Strait disappears.
Yep.
So over the next 10 million years, or 20,000 years, whatever, you've got Bigfoot evolving in an American climate where you've got his ancestors, the same genome evolving in Russia and evolving in China. Over 20,000 years, would they not have red hair and white hair and brown hair?
I want to challenge this if I can, based upon my knowledge of evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to try and get this right as possible. If we're suggesting that Bigfoot came from Pangaea, the opportunity was the Bering Strait existed.
No, right. I was wrong on Pangaea, right? Pangaea was in the Continents War 1.
Yeah.
Right, that's 201 million, right? A lot.
No. Pangaea broke 201 million.
Yeah. But I'm talking like 20,000 years ago when there was still connections like the Bering Strait. Because the Bering Strait only disappeared like 6,000 years ago.
I would be expecting to see. So I'm going back now. So I think we're seeing about 500 right, I might get my years wrong and fucking people can pick me up on it. I think it's about 500,000 years ago where we see the first change. It's just based on new science, but we see the first change where we go early hominids, Neanderthal, and humans all start to change.
Alright, so let's say 500,000 years ago then.
Okay.
Right.
So
could there not be a Neanderthal split where the continent's still connected, split apart, they're not fully split yet, so there's still pathways to walk over and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they've split, you've got 500,000 years of evolution of Bigfoot in North America, 500,000 years of Bigfoot in Russia that becomes Anne. You've got 500,000 years of evolution of Bigfoot in Nepal that becomes Yeti. That's plausible.
Plausibility we're talking about now. So there was, you know science. So we found effectively what was called the Hobbit in a cave.
Yeah.
The only one of its species that we could find, the only one that ever existed, and that's one.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking 100,000 years of migrationary paths between hominids and Bigfoots, we've never seen a fucking single bone.
Yeah.
I can't believe that for a second. I think.
I wasn't asking you to believe it, it was a thought experiment.
As a thought experiment, is it plausible that using the Bering Strait, because again, I'm absolutely right. There's so many animals that crossed across borders which weren't.
Like I said, but first what comes to mind, camels were indigenous to North America,
and there's
the Middle
loads
East and now. Yeah.
There's loads of different things like that. As a thought experiment, if there was no take away biological, archaeological evidence of any kind, could they find themselves across the country? They could follow what humans did.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, but on a very smaller scale.
Yeah.
Humans leave evidence, but
humans change our habitat to suit them. We're the only species that did, well, apart from beavers.
But based upon what we've seen so far, we're also suggesting that the Sasquatch does, the Yeti does, because it's able to hide, it's able to migrate, it's able to look at its environment and go, well, I need to move. It's able to go, I have to hide myself from the rest of the world, and I have got the tools and the ability and the knowledge and the sociological and community to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on par. Maybe not the same intelligent par that we accept.
But this is I disagree with community. Okay. Because I think if Bigfoot or Sasquatch, whatever we call it, was a communal and social animal, we'd see evidence.
Okay.
The fact we haven't seen evidence, to me, points to it being a solitary animal.
Let's just say this then. Okay.
So it only comes together for mate and then it disappears again, like tortoises.
Okay.
They come together to mate and they fuck off. Because if there were social animals, then there'd be evidence of You know, like a beehive or a rabbit warren or something. You know what I mean? So, to me, the fact that there's no evidence of a beehive or a rabbit warren kind of says that they're not social animals, they're solitary animals that only come together for mating.
So, I'm just drawing you a picture just so that I can try to get my point across.
Yeah.
Because this is what I'm trying to explain. So, I'm just explaining migratory paths, if this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, if the idea is that they somehow start in the south, and they migrate north, they all mate up here, and then they all come down. Right, what happens with every single species on the face of the planet that's ever happened, especially in 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, is you'd mate and not all of your offspring would survive.
No.
Right. So if we're all coming together in a certain location, they're all coming together for the big fuck party for however long it lasts.
Yeah, they're not going for the big 2-week orgy.
Yeah. On the way back, within a certain space, depending upon what the ovulation period is, within a certain space, you should find
dead infants.
Yeah. There should be evidence of, within a period of migrating back down south, dead infants of some kind, somewhere, even if they bury their prey.
We'd find evidence of burying.
Even if they ate their prey, you'd find fecal matter.
Or bones.
Yeah. So,
not fecal matter because we said earlier, cats bury theirs in a little tree after right in the wild, they'll dig a hole and bury it.
We still found dinosaur shit.
But we still find... No, but dinosaur shit is fossilised. We're looking really deep down for that. Talking surface level. But you'd find disturbed ground or something.
But bones don't decay like that today.
No.
So, even if they ate their young, chewed their bones, ground them up into tiny fragments, even if they ate like some animals eat their young,
and then dug a hole and shit in it and covered it up,
you'd still find some form of archaeological bone evidence.
No, not archaeological. I think because you're looking at archaeological is looking at like 100,000 years ago to 1,000,000 years ago. We're talking a shit that a Bigfoot took 40 years ago.
Archaeologists work in Egypt for less than 4,000 years.
Yeah, but you're talking about a shit a Bigfoot took 40 years ago. Archaeologists are looking deeper than that. They're going to go past that.
Archaeologists will be looking at finding a shit from 5,000 years ago. We're saying that these have had migrationary patterns from Pangaea.
All right, fair point. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, so we'd find migratory evidence of Bigfoot.
We should do.
Have we misclassified it?
In what way? It's a mammal. It's a hominid.
No. The reason I ask it is there's a great paleontologist that I love.
Do tell.
What's his fucking name? I want to say Alex. It's not. Is it Alex? It's not Alex. Jack Horner, I think it is.
Right.
Fix the fucking chicken, I think it's called.
I've never heard that before.
Right.
Fix the fucking chicken, I love it.
He had an amazing TED Talk where he gives his TED Talk about Jurassic Park. He was Jack Horner.
I know what you mean, yeah.
He was
Jack Horner.
He was one of the consultants on Jurassic Park, and he's been working for years and years on, like, you know, you get DNA and you take it out and you put it in you find a bit of amber, a mosquito, and you take it out and you get the DNA and you get Jurassic Park. No, it doesn't work like that. But what he's working on is
breeding it with frogs, though, right?
No, he's been doing it with chickens.
Oh, chickens.
He's like fix the chicken because you find out that chickens have tails.
Yes.
In the egg.
Oh, right.
But there's a gene that switches on and reabsorbs the tail into a genetic matter.
Well, humans have tails.
Right. But also we can switch this gene on, and the chicken's got teeth. And if we switch another gene on...
That's a strange KFC.
Yeah. If you switch another gene on, that chicken wing, if you look at the bones on the chicken's wing...
It's like a hand.
Right? It's fused like that. Right? It's fused like that.
It's still got 5 fingers,
right?
though,
Right? Yeah, it's fused. But when it's in an embryonic stage, it's exactly the same bone structure as a velociraptor.
Alright.
So if we could turn the gene off at that point, then we've got a chicken with velociraptor claws. And as he said in his TED Talk, if the Colonel marks it right, that's an extra piece of chicken. But
Chicken fingers.
Yeah, but so he goes about fixing the chicken like chickens are dinosaurs.
They are.
But the 5th graders don't find it cool and just tell him to fix the fucking chicken.
But it's not the chicken, it's the jungle fall. That's the...
But the reason I mentioned him is he's got another TED Talk.
Okay.
Where, because in that one, there's a great line in that one where he says birds are dinosaurs, and you can't argue with that because that's how we classify them. And we're the people that classify things. So you can't argue. But then he has another TED Talk where he goes on about he wiped out, in the space of a year, he made 48 species of dinosaurs erased. Like, not extinct, just never existed. Because we've got this dinosaur here, because it's the fossil, and because scientists like to name things, they found a fossil and they named it, and this one, and we named that one, and we named that. But then, actually, with the knowledge we've got today, if you look at it, this one is a baby triceratops. Well, it's not a triceratops, it doesn't have 3 horns. But if you look at it in an adolescent stage, you can see the bumps coming, the ridge, and then you look at the adult one, and the horns there. So, he's pointed out, he wiped out some like 48 species of dinosaurs that just never existed. Because that's not a I don't know, a fucking Derechosaurus, that's a baby Triceratops, and that's not a fucking Stegosaurus, that's an adolescent Triceratops. Because we classified them wrong.
Yeah.
So, what I'm asking, I've gone a long way around, but what I'm asking is, have archaeologists found Bigfoot shit and Bigfoot bones and classified them as human settlements?
Unlikely, because humans... So, what I postulate
or ape settlements or primate settlements, you know what I mean? Have they found buried shit and gone, and buried shit and bone matter and gone, well, this is sign that humans pass through, like Native Americans were nomadic and passed through here, when actually that's Bigfoot shit and Bigfoot bones.
Well, what I postulated to you was that the only reason I mentioned did they eat their own young and digest their own young is because, I don't know their behaviour, but is it possible that we don't find these things because they've digested them and eaten them? Humans don't, and I don't think ever have, in our history, tried to eat bone, digest bone into small pieces and fragments, because we don't have the capabilities digestive-wise, even when we had 200,000 years ago. I don't think we had the ability to eat a bone and shit a bone out. So, if...
There's a bit now, like, probably a bit too personal, but I have...
penis!
So, there's... I'm sure we've all done this, been times where, you know, eating a chicken wing, you get a bit of bone and a bit of bone shatters. I've swallowed it. Comes out the same way it went in.
Yeah, because our digestive tract is 8 hours.
Yeah, but I can't digest that bone. But is Bigfoot's digestive tract 8 hours? Can Bigfoot digest a bone? We can.
It doesn't matter. The reason I say that is, we know, so when we cremate people, as an example, that even at, I think it's 2,000 degrees we cremate people, we have to crush their bones with machines into dust.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Because, and it doesn't matter what animal acid you throw at it. Even tigers will eat bones, and dogs will eat bones, and this and the other. You sift through their shit, this bone matter.
Yeah. Bone is probably the hardest materials.
It doesn't matter the mammal, this bone matter in the shit, right? And all again, we're fucking going to guesswork here, right? So I was talking migratory path.
But you were saying like, oh well, if you expect it to eat the young and eat the bones now, if we're going to.
That's one possible.
And then they shit it out and they bury the shit. Archaeologists should have found it, like 1,000-year-old Bigfoot shit. Right?
So
my argument is, would archaeologists classified that as human migration rather than Bigfoot migration? Because, like I say, we've classified dinosaurs. Jack Horner wiped out so many classifications of dinosaurs because we classified baby and adolescent and adult dinosaurs as 3 different species.
In this specific example of bone matter, no, you couldn't. Because humans don't eat bones. And they don't digest bones, and they don't crunch bones in the same way.
No, but I'm saying 1,000-year-old matter. I'm not talking about 2 week or 10 week. I'm saying like your original thought was we'd have found that archaeologists have found 1,000-year-old Bigfoot shit with bones in it. You're saying with Bigfoot is young when this migratory path, an archaeologist would find 1,000-year-old. Let's say 1,000 years ago, Bigfoot ate its young, bones and all, shit it out, feet come out with bones in it, dug a hole and buried it. Archaeologists would have found that, right?
At some point.
Yeah, at some point. My argument is archaeologists paleontologists have put baby Triceratops, adolescent Triceratops, and adult Triceratops as 3 different species.
Yeah.
Could archaeologists have found that buried Bigfoot shit and put it down to a Native American tribe or an ape that lived in that area rather than they've classified it wrong?
Only if they found 1 or 2 examples.
They've found hundreds of baby Triceratops and thousands of adolescent Triceratops. Still class them as 3 different species.
There's a difference though. So when it's not your species, it's difficult to understand.
It might not be our species, so we're attributing to apes or attributing to Native Americans.
But you asked me if it's wrong about attributing towards humans. We know humans very well. We know humans for hundreds of thousands of years.
I'm saying, is it possible we could have attributed Bigfoot findings to humans? 1,000-year-old Bigfoot finding to a 1,000-year-old human finding?
Not human.
Or ape, or like that. Could we attribute it to something? Could we have evidence of Bigfoot and archaeologists attribute it in the wrong place?
Not human, but yes, maybe something else.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to get at, that we might have evidence.
But not human, because we know, if we understand anybody better than anything, it's humans and our lineage, I'd say.
Only for about 6,000 years.
You're honest, me 1,000.
Oh yeah, I did already actually 1,000.
So,
fair point. Yeah, fair point. Yeah. So yeah, but we could have Bigfoot evidence sat in the Smithsonian Museum that's classified as some kind of ape.
Maybe. Most apes though are you got to be careful though. Most apes are
Or
herbivore.
primate. Sorry, primate. Let's say primate.
Even
right?
most primates are herbivore.
But what I'm saying is, we had baby Triceratops and adolescent Triceratops in the Smithsonian classed as a different species to a Triceratops.
But they are
up until 2 or 3 years ago.
But they are incredibly rare species that had.
We've got thousands of examples of these all over the world, and we still class them as 3 different species. It wasn't until 3-4 years ago that Jack Horner went, actually no, these are all the same species, and this is why.
I concede, it's a fair point. I just think, I just find it, from a 21st century lens, I just find it very difficult to say.
Well, this is the thing, I'm going to go back to Jack Horner, this thing with the Jack Horner discussion is on about the dinosaurs, where I couldn't believe that 3-4 years ago, it might be 10 years ago, but I can't believe that we could be that fucking dumb. That I'm sat there going, and the way he lays it out, it's fucking obvious. It's blatantly obvious. It's like, how have we believed this for like so fucking long? How could we be so fucking dumb that we didn't realise this is a baby? Because we see, as humans, we see a baby, we see a teenager, we see an adult.
But we keep the same bone, the same bone shape through all of our.
Yeah, but you can see the development of the bone shape through the stages.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's there, it's said, like, he points out, it's like, how are this fucking dumb? How can we not notice that up until 5-10 years ago, whatever it is? Like, that is so fucking stupid, like, we're so dumb that we didn't notice that. And we've had all these thousands of examples over the world and no one's picked up on it.
People put me right though, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure it's only the 1800s where people could sit and look at a female skeleton and a male skeleton and know, actually that's a female because of the size of the hip in comparison to a male, size of the pelvis. And look at a male and a female side by side and go, well that's a female and that's a male based on pelvis size.
No, I think, I might be wrong in thinking this, but I think you're right in that we could tell a female pelvis to a male pelvis as skeleton, but only if they've given birth.
Okay. I don't know that.
But I think now in modern day archaeology we can tell female and male females carry different hemoglobins and stuff in the bone, so we can tell a female bone to a male bone. Whereas in the 1800s, like you were saying, it was just, you can look and go, that's the male pelvis, that's the female pelvis, but only for females giving birth.
So,
because the pelvis changes during riders in childbirth and stuff.
What I'm saying is, we really only in modern medicine, in modern understanding, do we understand our own skeletal size. So, and the skeletal.
Some of the last 20, 30 years.
So, but what
probably 50 tops. Yeah.
If we're saying, I can't understand how we can't see a triceratops from early to mid to teen to adult. It doesn't surprise me. It's not even our species. It's like, it's obvious now someone's pointed it out, but I can understand how you've gone, well, that's something different. And then someone's gone, hold on, try connect the dots. It's like, oh, fucking hell. That's really obvious now you said it, but until then I am completely blind.
So, by that frame of logic, to me, it's exactly the same as going, this is some primitive ape shit. No, absolutely. Here's Bigfoot, here's evidence, science evidence of Bigfoot, and then if you look at this, fucking hell, that was Bigfoot shit all along. These 1,000 examples of the evidence was there all along. Can't fucking because we don't have that key.
Well, no, and the only so take away the dinosaurs, which is fucking such a long time ago. Most species on the planet we can look at, observe, understand their dietary tracts, how they move, how they migrate, how they mate, how they socialise, how they look at their communities, what they eat, how they eat, this, that and the other. And we're very much able to catalogue all of that and go, when they shit, this is what the shit looks like. If we then went, we found this shit, whoa, fucking hell, it don't look like a great ape, it don't look like a monkey, it don't look like a bear. Well, I'm just going to fucking say it's a bear because I don't know what it is. We don't do that.
That's pretty much what we do. That's a lot of what we do. Like any code you need to keep. So if we got a fucking live Bigfoot, right? I would not be surprised. If we got a live Bigfoot and then we keep it in captivity, first shit it has, we take it and we examine it and explore it and go, I wouldn't be surprised to go, we've got 10,000 examples of Bigfoot shit in museums across the world. We just reclassified them as different things because we didn't know what they was, so we put them in bear shit, or we put them in monkey shit, or we put them in Neanderthal shit.
Okay.
As soon as you've got an actual, undeniable Bigfoot shit, and you go, right, this is the chemical makeup, the making, and you go, actually, we've had Bigfoot shit all along. We didn't realise. That's not implausible.
It's not implausible.
Because that's happened so many times in museums.
It's not implausible.
I mean, one at the National History Museum had a Diplodocus in the front hall. And the Diplodocus never existed.
I don't know.
We just made up of different dinosaurs and went, oh shit, it's been there for 50 years. We're going to take it down with a big outrage, like, no, you can't take him down, he's like the first thing you see, just come to the museum, like, yeah, but it never existed. We can't have a fake dinosaur in a museum.
What was it then, instead?
It was an amalgamation of 4 different dinosaurs.
Oh,
we just went, oh, that spine doesn't fit there, so it must go here. Like, that skull doesn't fit there, but it fits on top of this. So, like, oh, that must be your thing. And it was just like, yeah, I think we got like 4 or 5 dinosaurs and just invented a dinosaur that never existed. Like Diplodocus never existed.
Fucking humans.
So we're all going, no, I can't see you doing that. There's a long fucking documented evidence of us doing that.
Well, it's a stretch, but I can concede to an extent, but I am not convinced. But
let's move on. Let's move on.
So I want to get into one more thing, and then I want to get into some debunking facts and closing if we can. There's something called the Giganopithecus, which is a massive fossil found in Asia, which all sort of, as you were talking before, migrated across the Berlin Bridge.
The Berlin Bridge? You mean the Bering Strait?
Bering Land Bridge.
Wait, is it Berlin Bridge?
The Berlin Bridge! The massive
like over the wall, like east to west Germany.
Fucking Hitler again!
Bigfoot escaped Mussolini. I've seen it. Just, yeah, whatever.
So Hitler didn't go to fucking Argentina, he went to Asia. Ding! No,
Hitler's jawbone all over again.
Yeah, I'm going to remember to do that.
I edit this, of course, and it reminds me when I watch it back.
But the Giganotothecus, it had this they've only got one side part of his jawbone, not the second part, but it's absolutely enormous. And they reckon it could have been bipedal.
By one part, you mean they've got the lower half or the top half? Right, they've got the top, so it's still...
So they don't have the power part of the jawbone.
So you can't see how many pounds per square inch the bite is, but you've still got, you can see how big the jaw is. Yeah.
So they reckon it could have been bipedal, but they reckon it could have been, based on how big it was.
It's going to be a fucking elephant.
It's massive. Like, they think it might have been on all fours constantly.
Yeah.
But this is the hypothesise that if you look at this particular extinct animal, there's no reason to suggest that this didn't then become evolve into something different, evolve into the Bigfoot potentially.
Yeah.
It's an extinct hominid, but it doesn't mean that it didn't become something else. And there's people who argue that if you look at this jawbone, it's typically herbivore, so it's all very small. There's no real fangs or anything.
Yeah. There's no meat ripping the teeth or all. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a leap scientifically to suggest that a mouth this big, which could be something, an 8 foot tall animal, could become a Bigfoot.
But it could also become a silverback gorilla.
Or it could just die out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be anything. But balls are dropped. But it could be. But they're suggesting that
this could be evolutionary evidence.
If you look at them,
this could. It's not a Bigfoot, but it could be an ancestor to Bigfoot.
Well, the fact that it was like a massive like gorilla ape. It was 200 to 300 kilograms when it was alive. It was enormous. It's sexually dimorphic. It had teeth that kind of human-like teeth. So it seemed to have like a lineage to our.
Yeah. So it's got a Homo lineage.
Yeah. So it's not to. It's to suggest that these things that we're finding have died out. It could either have evolved into something else, or we don't know all of our evolutionary chain.
That's the thing for me on this, is that we're missing too much knowledge. We look at is it Darwin's Evolution of Man, where there's a missing link. That link could easily be Bigfoot.
Calm down, lad.
No, could be.
Okay.
And we've got a different evolutionary path from Bigfoot, and that but we've not found evidence that missing link yet. But by the same argument, that missing link could be alien visitation tampering with our DNA.
I prefer that one.
You know, but Bigfoot is a more likely one than alien tampering.
Let's get started.
Should we go into closing?
Well, yes, I think so. Can I close first?
Go on, you close first. Go on then.
Seeing as this week's
So,
my choice.
Does Bigfoot exist? Does I believe?
As always, I'll give my rationale
Yeah.
before I decide. So, in my opinion, the fact that the basics haven't been covered. We've never seen a body. We've never seen evidence of a Bigfoot eating another animal, or eating a bush, or there's no evidence of any of that exists. Like, there's no community evidence, there's no solitary evidence of them sleeping or eating somewhere, which we'd find from any animal. Even with the smallest animal, you can go, I know a vole's been there because I can see it's eating this, and I can see it's dropping to there.
It's that thing of like when you go hunting deer.
Yeah.
You can see
Tracks.
where a good tracker can see its footprints. It can see where it's grazed.
Yeah, exactly. And something as big as big as this, we've never seen evidence of birth, never seen evidence of young, never seen evidence of burial, never seen a carcass, never seen a bone. We've never seen any of that. We've never seen any DNA whatsoever, never seen any real life fur that's being able to be tested and DNA tested or genetically tested of any kind. The only thing we have of any kind is video and photo, which
the best video is 1967.
And that's not great stuff we've seen so far. We've not seen migration paths. We've not got evidence of migration paths. We've not got any evidence of anything at all outside of, I think I've seen this, here's my video footage. And we've never seen a human attack. We've never had evidence of a human being attacked by a Bigfoot.
They threw rocks at a cabin in 1924.
It's not exactly it, but I would have expected at least once where someone's got, I've been bitten by something, what the fuck was that? I've got bite marks, something. I've never seen the carcass of an animal that was not caught, that could be bitten and not caught, like a deer or something.
Yeah, I mean,
teeth marks.
Even though bears are very unlikely to attack you, we've still got evidence of bears attacking humans.
Or a half-eaten carcass of a fucking Bigfoot that's being attacked by a bear, or teeth marks somewhere. I'm sure them walking through the woods, it'd be a tuft of fur stuck on a branch, or something, anything like that. I'm just been desperate for something like that. The fact that after all these years, none of that exists, either suggests to me they don't exist, or they are super intelligent that they can hide every single. They go, oh, fucking hell, that's a bit of bush. We can't eat here because people will see. We have to eat in private, and we're going to bury it. We're going to hide it. If our young die, we've got to take them with us and put them in a special place that no one will find. And that just seems incredibly. Even humans, even us,
wouldn't do that.
We can't do it.
No.
We can't do it. We can't. You've got the best murderers in the world. Outside of a couple, like we're talking the Moors murders, you know. But for the most part, the most intelligent people who go, do you know what, I can fucking kill someone and I'm going to hide their body. They get found in nearly every single occasion. Not all occasions, but nearly every occasion. But we're talking about species here. For hundreds of years, I've gone, you will never find a single body because we're that fucking good.
Yeah.
And based upon that simple scenario, irrespective of everything else, I can't believe in the Yeti. I can't believe in Bigfoot. It doesn't matter about the sightings, and some of the sightings for me are wondrous, completely brilliant. And I don't necessarily have an explanation for some of the videos. But I come down to the biological and physical evidence of every single other species that we've got on the face of the planet and go, I can track them, I can find physical evidence, archaeological evidence of their species, I can look at their DNA and have an explanation. And because we can't do that on science for Bigfoot, I can't say I believe in it.
That's a solid fucking argument, mate.
I mean, I don't really know how else to put it to you, but I think based upon that scenario, I don't know how else to put my point across.
I mean, I've got here for my closing, I've got that extinct species have been found with alarming regularity right now. Right? To the point where I think there was a couple of years ago, some cameras were set up to see some pandas or something like that. Not pandas because they're in the wild anymore, but was set to watch some animal in the wild.
Right.
Like, you know, these motion cameras.
Was it a tiger?
And they saw a tiger, and it's like supposed to be fucking extinct.
Yeah.
But we've seen no evidence of it anywhere. But it just walked past this motion camera and I'm like,
holy shit!
Like, where's the tufts of fur? Where's the shit? Where's the evidence of it eating? But no, it's there on fucking camera. Like, fuck it, this fucking exists.
If there's only 2 or 3 of them, you can kind of get away with it, I think.
Yeah, but like I said, but you were saying there's no tufts of fur, there's no this, there's no that. Well, there was none of that. That's why we thought they're extinct. But here it is on fucking motion detector camera, like, gnawing away, like, fuck. Like, so, extinct species being found all the time.
Okay, I'll let you finish.
Quite recently, that, because of modern technology, with things like motion detection cameras and stuff like that, we're finding more and more species that we thought were extinct.
So this is meant to be a vast species based on what we can see.
But I'm saying reasons to believe.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
So if we, scientifically, we've gone, these tigers are extinct, and then they've just turned up. We've gone, oh, this animal's extinct, no, it's turned up. Like, fuck, like, we thought they were extinct, right? But all these appearances, shall we call them, happen in the wilderness. While the Colorado and Pennsylvania forests are massive and big,
They're
not exactly wilderness.
Yeah, agreed.
So, finding a tiger at the bottom of the mountains in Nepal that we thought were extinct, I could see how it can evade us for a while, and it wasn't until we had motion detection technology to find him. There's so much technology, and the Colorado forest and Pennsylvania forest are that wilderness. We'd have found evidence of it by now. Alright? I just think there's no hard evidence over 45 years of modern claims. Right? And we have professional Bigfoot hunters.
Is that what you call them?
They call themselves professional Bigfoot hunters in America, right? Nat Geo has like 3 series of searching for Bigfoot, which, to be honest, they're not going to find, because if you find him, this program's over. So why would you find him?
Yeah, he's under the series.
Right?
He thought it was your episode finale.
Yeah.
Rather than episode 1.
You stretch out to episode 10 and then fucking get it in there. Season 10 you're getting cancelled. We found him! Look at that, right? But no, my point being that I know one of my friends in America, right, who I play on PlayStation with, is a hunter. He can go out into the woods, not see a deer at all, but he can see the way the grass is bent. He can see where the grass is being chewed on, or this bush is being eaten, and these tracks there. And he will walk to a wood, and he'll just follow signs, and he'll lead them to a deer.
Incredible, really.
It's an amazing stuff. I can't fathom it, but
I don't get it, but yeah.
But he's brilliant. And it just goes out, looks in the woods, sees the tracks, follows them, sees all the signs, follows it, shoots a deer, brings it back, skins it, whatever, and he eats it. He only hunts to eat, which I approve of. I don't like the fact of fucking killing a deer and that. Yeah, I kill a deer, I'm great, I'm a hunter.
If you're going to eat and feature from
you're going to kill it, eat it, and he's got a fucking freezer full of like his kills and stuff, right? Brilliant, I'm all for that, right? Don't mind that. But my point being, he is an amateur hunter, and he can walk into a wood and just stand and look around and go, oh, I'm going that, I've seen this, I'm going that way, I've seen that, I'm going this way, I've seen that, I'm going this way, and ends up with a deer. He's an amateur hunter. These are professional Bigfoot hunters.
Bigfoot's a bit bigger than deers.
Why they found one yet? Why they seen the footprint, or where the grass has gone, or the chewing, or the grazing? But why not seeing any of that? Even if he's not carnivore, he's a herbivore. Then you'd have seen bits of bark chewed off trees, or
high on trees as well. The big
quite high on trees.
Yeah.
We see it with bears. You see with there's a thing where people hunt bears and stuff, but one of the things you can see with bear, if he's been there recently, is you can see the bark on the side of a tree has gone.
Because they chew it off top.
No, because they rub the backs on it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, they lean up against it and they rub the back. They sit full, like 6-7 foot tall, and just rub the backs and get a good fucking scratch. And
just watch this. This is that's Badger dancing.
But they'll just like go and just get a good scratch on the tree because the bark's rough. It gets all in there.
Yeah.
There's a good scratch on it, and then they'll walk off. But they leave evidence of that scratching.
Fur and broken bark and all sorts.
Yeah. So you can see, and because the way the bark's broken, a bear has rubbed up against it rather than something's eating it, and like eating berries off a tree. If a bear's eating berries, it pulls a branch down and just pulls the berries off, but it leaves scratch marks with its teeth where it's ripped bark off as well as the berries.
Right.
Or just the way that if it doesn't leave scratch marks, the way the leaves are just being ripped off. So you can tell that's a bear. There should be evidence of that.
Anything.
Yeah. So these professional Bigfoot hunters don't know what the fuck they do. My mate's an amateur and he can hunt a deer, but you can't find any evidence of Bigfoot eating or rubbing against a tree or anything.
Yeah. Good point.
And the fact that the hoaxes that I mentioned earlier were all fucking hilarious.
Discredits the whole thing.
Discredits the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the video footage you mentioned, it becomes, and I use this term a lot now doing this show, it's just a poison well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
There's so much fakery in there that you can't tell what's fake and what's real, and even the stuff that's real, you're disillusioned by the fakery, so you discount it too hard. Maybe.
I think you're right. We've got to this point in society, but I don't want to know if I can disrupt your ending. But if we were given crystal clear 4K video of a genuine event,
deep fake,
we'd all go, that's
manipulated.
bullshit. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It would be.
I think the golden age of conspiracy is over because any digital. We'll talk about with the moon landings where the guy comes on the stage and comes on set in corner at video, and it's like it's obviously it's faked.
Yeah.
But it's so well done that it will be better than the moon landing, and it's like you can't believe any digital footage or photograph unless we have scientific DNA, physical evidence.
Yeah.
Video footage and photographs are done now because we can fake anything. Even not even you're saying the 67 footage, or even Hollywood couldn't do it then. We can do what Hollywood can do on 3 programs.
On my phone right now.
Yeah. So I think the age of video footage and photo evidence is gone. It's over.
You're probably right.
It has to be physical and DNA now. Even though I've shit all over this tonight, I still really want to believe.
I want to believe.
You know, this myth is in all cultures all over the world. That's not coincidence. And whether that is me explaining it earlier as a control mechanism to keep children in the village and keep them safe, and it's just happened to spread over the world, or whether there's something to it, it's still just it's hiding innocence, man. I grew up with that, you know.
Just do what you do best and apply your science and come to a conclusion.
That does not believe.
Does it hurt?
Yeah.
It's not nice, is it?
This is the moon landing all over again.
At what point are we going to stop doing this channel, by saying?
I'm starting to hate you for creating this channel. Why?
Well, I think, whoa, it's a joint effort, but
It was your idea. I mean, we both agreed, yes, but there's not as much a conspiracy theorist as I am, and as much as I love the idea of Bigfoot and some animal that's escaped capture and classification, and I can argue that the tiger in Nepal that we thought were extinct, and it's there, it's going. But to survive this long, let's look at Bigfoot, just Bigfoot on its own. Forget Yeti and Sasquatch and Kukra, just Bigfoot on its own. To survive so long in a country that's so industrialised and developed, with an entire industry around finding you. There's only 2 explanations, and that's 1, it doesn't exist, or 2, it's so fucking intelligent that it's like the fucking Nox from Stargate.
oh, without doubt, it has to be to leave no physical evidence of any kind, no tracks, no bodies, no feces, no DNA, no fluff.
I don't know if you watched Stargate SG-1. There's a race of ancient aliens there called the Nox.
Right.
And they're like all covered in twigs and they look very primitive and stuff.
Alright.
And first go like SG-1 get killed and they bring them back to life and stuff, and then there's these really primitive people that live in the trees and they don't do violence, right? They're kind of Bigfoot-ish in a way. And then right then he goes, oh well, they're going to come find you. And he goes, oh no, they won't find us. And the other goes, oh, they think they're really primitive, and so he goes, look. And he goes like that with his hand, and there's this big fucking city in the sky with flying ships. And he goes, see? Just covers it. He's like, yeah, you thought these were really primitive woodland creatures, but they're actually a really advanced race, but they're in tune with the planet and work with the planet. And
hold on, are they really the Anunnaki?
No, they're a Bigfoot parable.
I mean, are the Bigfoot really the Anunnaki?
Yeah, Bigfoot, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, is it a case of like, well, look at them going, oh, they're an offshoot of Neanderthals, when actually they're high. Because the only way they could have avoided any any human detection in the last 20 years, with DNA tests and like you brought out that all the hair and stuff that got detected, and it were all, no, it's this online. The only way they could have been detected, being found, like the tiger in Nepal, fair enough, it's this in a remote location, but you're in an industrialised nation with an industry built around hunting you. Like the first that finds it, captures it, even first one that brings a dead Bigfoot is going to be a billionaire, a multi-millionaire.
Famous instantly.
Right? So you've either got to be, you don't exist, or more intelligent than us.
And I would suggest it's more likely
That they don't exist.
Yeah.
So
More likely.
I've got to come down the side of I don't believe, unless Bigfoot is the Knox. Then, when we finally find a big one, we just go like, oh, well, why found no evidence in the ground? Oh yeah, we've got a big city in the sky, look.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
Wow. That was... I tell you what though, do you know what, we've had some fucking heavy shows before this.
We have.
This was really nice.
It was nice to just do...
Fun.
Yeah. Although we got a lot deeper than I thought we would do on this, to be fair. But this is why I love this channel. It's why I fucking... And every week I tell you, got to tell two friends, because I'm really fucking proud of what we do. I'm really proud of our content. And I know we're going for fucking hours and we're two drunk Yorkshiremen that waffle on, but can you find... I dare you. Actually, I fucking challenge you. If you can find...
Double daring you now.
If you can find any video on YouTube that goes into as much detail on Bigfoot as we do, then link it in the comments.
But that's the
Fucking dare you to.
what I would say is that we put in, and I don't know how it comes across in the video, I really don't, but we put in a lot of effort to create this channel. And, you know, looking at all the things we've done today, on a personal level, it's tens of hours per week.
Yeah.
Just to get to the, and that's every week, consistently. At the end of tonight, we'll decide what to do next week. And then it's consistently tens of hours in between day jobs, family, other work commitments, everything else that occurs. Bit of PlayStation 5 in between, possibly.
Well, for you next week, I've had mine since launch, though.
Mine comes Monday. But, you know, trying to do everything, this channel...
It's all consuming.
It's a labour of love, right? And the fact that these videos might be 3 hours, 4 hours, what we try to do is try to say to people, we've personally tried to go, let's cover, we can't cover everything, but let's try to cover all bases. And these videos take so long because we think you deserve the content in regards to, we could cover this in an hour and have people going, you've missed this, you've missed this, you've missed this.
We could whack up a quick fucking shitty, flashy 5-minute video of why Bigfoot's not real. And everybody in it does that. You can find millions on YouTube. If that's what you want, go watch them. Go watch them. We think you're more intelligent. We think you deserve better. And that's what we do. That's why we deep dive into facts and evidence and hoaxes. And we might go around the houses to get to our discussion, but our conclusions are not... Our conclusions are what we honestly feel. The idea behind this video is that we can give you everything, all the information that you need to make your mind up. You don't have to agree with us at the end. We might just put a load of shit down tonight and it might prove that Bigfoot exists for you. That's fine. Tell us in the comments why. But I'm sick and tired of seeing conspiracy theories on the internet where it's just like, here's fucking Bigfoot in 5 minutes, here's Roswell in 10 minutes.
It deserves so much more time. It does. And do you know what?
You're intelligent, you deserve better, and we hope, we like to think that we're giving you better.
And in all fairness, if we would really want to properly deep dive on this, it'd take us 3 times the content.
Oh god, yeah.
We've got, you know, as I said before, I skipped over in the beginning, 150 years in about 9 videos. Yeah. So in about 9 pieces of content. So and that still took an hour just to get through that bit. So as I said, you know,
I challenge you to find anywhere that deep dive conspiracies like, and it don't matter if it's just Bigfoot. You go look at even mental ones. Does Saddam have a Stargate? Was
ding.
was just
insane.
But how did we dive into that with the Anunnaki and the Nephilim and the Igig and
just a fucking rabbit hole.
Mesopotamia and Babylonia and
I just say fucking ridiculous. But you know, I don't know if I want too much into this content. But what we're trying to say is our videos are long, and we accept that, and we accept that we're going to have a niche market of people who want to watch our videos. We get that.
Yeah.
Because not everybody wants to listen to two Yorkshire people speak for 3 to 4 hours.
No, you don't. And we get that, we understand that, but we're just asking you to, we challenge you to find anybody that covers these subjects in as much detail as we do.
Well, detail we think is important.
And if you can't do that, then I think you have a responsibility to tell two people about us.
No, we've discussed this before.
No, I think you do.
Imposter Badger. We've discussed this before. It's not two people. It's every fucker on your friends list in Facebook. Link every single bastard and press send. Some of you guys on this video right now who will be watching haven't just got your friends on Facebook. You'll have 16,000 acquaintances that you don't even fucking know because you're friend everyone. All of them. Link the twats.
Look in the description. The Facebook page, the Twitter page is in the description.
And whatever
Fly,
else,
my pretties, fly!
whatever else is set up in between as well, because his Badger just fucking goes off on one and goes, oh, we've linked it to 14 more sites today, Craig. So
well, yeah, the one this morning, like, oh yeah, by the way, we're on Spotify now. Well, yeah, we're going to be on Google Podcasts in 5 days. Well, I best let you know.
Anyway, forget all that shit.
We're rattling now. We need to finish up.
We do. That does not believe. You does not believe.
Does that believe? I've been Lord Badger. He's been Craig. Till next time. See you there.
And as always, have a fucking good one.